my daughter Kayleen kept saying her wrist had hurt and it was swollen.
I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then she went back to play.
Daycare didn't call the doctor.
17-year-old is qualified by the state?
Mm-hmm.
In order to care for children, all you need to be is not a convicted felon?
Correct.
That sounds outrageous to me.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheinlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
All parties on Grant Family Daycare versus Bachman. Step forward, please.
Chris and Julie Grant of Heart to Heart Daycare are suing 28-year-old accounting clerk Shawneen Bachman for not paying the bill for her 8-year-old daughter's care. Shawneen claims her daughter Kayleen was injured falling off the monkey bars.
All rise. Now, this is case number 656 on the calendar in the matter of Grant Family Daycare versus Bachman. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Ms. Grant, you run an after-school program or a daycare center?
Yes, I do.
You're suing for a relatively small amount of money, $139. And that $139 is because the defendant withdrew her daughter from your program.
Yes.
And failed to give you 2 weeks' notice.
Correct.
Okay, so it's not that she had the service, it's just that in violation of the contract, she withdrew the child without giving you an appropriate amount of time to get somebody to fill her spot.
Correct.
And Ms. Bachman, you say there was very good reason for that.
Yes, there was.
So I'd like to hear that.
On December 21st, I went to pick my daughter up and, you know, I signed her out and that was it. They said goodbye, and so my daughter Kayleen kept saying her wrist had hurt. So I looked at it and it was swollen, and then on her left hand there was dried up blood. So then I told my daughter if it still hurt, I would take her to the doctors. I didn't think it was that important because no one told me that she was hurt when I picked her up.
Well, did she tell you she was hurt?
She did, but I didn't think it was that major because I wasn't aware of it when I picked her up. So I looked at it and, you know, it was a little swollen. And so then the next day I asked Julie what had happened. She told me what happened.
What did she tell you?
That she wasn't there. One of her daycare assistants was there, and they took care of her, and they put ice on her wrist.
Tell me what happened.
Kayleen?
You want to tell me what happened at the daycare center with her little girl?
Yes. On the day in question, the 21st, she was on the A-bars that we have in my backyard. I have pictures to show what the A-bars look like. Here you go. And apparently she fell on off of the A-bars where the little boy is in the picture, and came to the daycare people, the two helpers that I have, Miss Esther and Miss Marissa, and told her that she had hurt her arm, and they asked her if she needed ice. She wasn't crying, to my knowledge, and so they brought her in and gave her ice, and she was there for about, approximately 10 or 15 minutes. At that time, she ran back out to play and proceeded to do the same thing again. And they asked the second time if she wanted to have the ice on her, and she declined the second time.
Go ahead.
When I got home that day, the helpers told me what had happened, and in fact, Kayleen actually came to me and said, "I hurt my arm," and I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then she went back to play. Now, when her mom came that evening, I did tell her what went on.
What did you tell her?
No, she
I
didn't.
told her that she fell off of the bars and that I'm really sorry that she did that. We put ice on it, that I happened to notice there was a little red spot in her arm. I said, but it went away right after that. I have 2 letters from my helpers who are currently right now watching my children as we speak.
I can't accept letters from your helpers.
What we do have the sign, the ouch slip essentially, which was indicating of the injury.
You have a what?
We call it an ouch slip. It's essentially an indication to the parent of what actually occurred during that day.
And you gave that to the defendant?
No, she did not.
No, I did not.
You did not?
No.
Why didn't you give it to her?
Because apparently when she came the following day, There had been nothing written in my book to state. We keep a record of all of the injuries that happen in the daycare, and on that day in question, my helper forgot to write it down. But I assured her when she came that second day that I would have her write it down, and she would have an ouch slip when she came back.
Okay. And as a result of that, you withdrew your child from the school.
I mean, there's been more than one incident. Yes, that's why I took her out. One of the reasons.
But it was immediately after this that you
Yes.
took her out. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now what I'd like to see is this book that you have.
Sure.
You're licensed by the state?
Yes, I am.
Which state?
The state of California.
And how many children are you allowed to have in your facility?
I'm allowed to have 14 children.
And this is in your private house,
My
is that
private
right?
home.
How many children did you have the day she was injured?
Maybe 8 to 10.
And you say you had 2 helpers there.
Yes, I did.
What is the background of these 2 helpers?
They are a mother who has an associate arts degree in early childhood education, and at the time, a 17-year-old helper who's a senior in high school.
Where were you?
I was out picking up food for the daycare.
Are you allowed to be off the premises?
Yes, I am, as long as I have 2 helpers that are qualified by the state to be there.
17-year-old is qualified by the state? Mm-hmm. I don't see how a 17-year-old can be qualified by the state.
She has a fingerprints that are sent to the state. Yes, I don't have evidence that she's
You mean she doesn't have to have any training? All she has to do is be fingerprinted?
Fingerprinted and a child abuse index card put on her, sent to the state of Department of Justice in Sacramento.
Are you telling me that in order to care for children, all you need to be is not a convicted felon?
Correct.
That sounds outrageous to me. Mm-hmm. It would seem to me that you have, if you were smart, a higher responsibility. And that higher responsibility is to hire somebody, if you're not going to be there, that's older than 17 years old, if you're going to have 10 children that they're going to have to monitor.
Your Honor, my other helper is 28 or 29 years old, and she's a mom, and she's the one with the associate arts degree.
She has an associate's degree. That means she's been to college for 2 years.
Yes.
That generally is the qualifications that we find that most providers have in the industry.
That doesn't make it right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
I think you're pretty slick.
He was
Because
there-
nobody gives this kind of a note when somebody makes them a present.
I
Unless you have a
understand.
good story that you'd like to
I
concoct for me as to why you gave him this note.
It was to pay back the money.
Right! Now you got it.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Chris and Julie Grant of Heart to Heart Daycare are suing Shawneen Bachman for not paying for her 8-year-old daughter's care. Shawneen claims her daughter Kayleen was injured while under their supervision.
I'm going to quote some of the things you said to me in your testimony, Ms. Grant. You said that one of your helpers, how old are you?
8.
Asked the 8-year-old if she wanted ice. The 8-year-old said no, so she didn't give her anything the second time she was injured. A person with a certain amount of experience, a certain amount of training, would not allow an 8-year-old to choose the method of treatment for an injury. Somebody who had brains would say this is the second time the child fell on the same wrist, and I have to take some action with regard to this, right? And the person that you think was qualified did not. So I think that the defendant had an absolute right and an obligation to remove her child from your daycare that very moment. And the fact that she didn't give you 2 weeks' notice is a testament to her good judgment. Your case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm just very frustrated, that's all. Seems the daycare people can't get a break, and they don't get paid very well either.
I was going down a ladder, and when I was going down, my hand had slipped, and there was a ditch right where I fell, and my hand was stuck there like this for about a minute or two.
And now the next case.
All parties on Bauer versus Bauer. Step forward, please.
45-year-old toolmaker Joseph Bauer is suing his ex-wife, 35-year-old veterinarian assistant Brandy Bauer, for a car loan and rent. Brandy claims Joseph was abusive.
Mr. Bauer, how long were you and the defendant married?
8 years, ma'am.
When were you divorced?
1995 was when the divorce proceedings started.
When were they concluded?
1997.
It's your claim, sir, that sometime after you separated from your wife, you made a series of loans to her.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me, when were these loans made and what were they for, sir?
Well, my ex-wife and I separated, and she came to me and told me that she needed to have money for a car so that she could get a job. My main concern was that the welfare of my daughter, and without a...
Who was the child living with at the time?
At the time, she was living with Brandy.
Okay.
And she told me that she needed money for a car so she could secure a job. I told her that for me to do that, I would have to take out a share loan from my profit sharing at my work. And I had to have the money back. It was a loan. Any kind of early withdrawal would have caused me penalties both for an early withdrawal and for the tax purposes because it was a capital gain. She said, okay. She told me I could hold the pink slip on the car that she purchased as security on the loan. And so I made the payments real reasonable, $100 a month with no interest. I gave her the money, approximately $3,400. Within just a couple of weeks, she came back to me and told me that she couldn't get a car for that much money. She needed another $1,000. I said, well, if you're going to do that, I want some kind of notarized paperwork saying that you have the loan with me so that we can get this up above board. I asked her for the loan, for some kind of paperwork for that. She gave me a handwritten note that said that she had borrowed now $4,400.
Do you have that note?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see it?
Here's the originals. And here's the bank draft for the withdrawal for the money.
You took this note?
She gave that to me. She would not give me a notarized copy of
Just a second. Had you already given her the other $1,000 when she gave you this note?
Yes, ma'am.
And this was the only note she gave you?
She wouldn't give me anything else besides that.
Because...
She says it's a gift of money.
That's what it says. It says, I, Brandy Bauer, on this day, Friday, the 29th of September, 1995, in agreement with Joseph, this note will be exchanged to Joseph for a gift of money in the amount of $4,400.
Ma'am, I wasn't present when she gave me that.
No. But that's what she wrote.
Yes, ma'am.
And this shows that you took the money out on the 25th of you took out $1,000.
$2,000.
$2,000. But you only gave her $1,000 on that day. What'd you do with the other $1,000?
You
took out $3,400.
Yes, ma'am.
And then she said she came back to you sometime later and said, I can't get a car for $3,400. I need another $1,000.
Yes, ma'am. So I took out the $2,000.
$2,000.
Gave her $1,000 of that money.
Yeah.
And held on to $1,000 because I knew she was going to need to secure insurance and the registration for the car. I wanted the pink slip with my name on it.
Okay. So out of this $2,000, you gave her $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a total of $4,400.
Yes, ma'am.
And what else, sir?
She came to me a couple of weeks after that and told me that she was going to get evicted from her apartment. She needed $500 to keep herself from getting evicted. I was worried for the safety and welfare of my daughter. At that time, I decided to make a conscious decision to throw good money after bad and loan her another $500. And I never saw a dime from that day on.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He made you loans. He may have hoped that if he made you the series of loans, you would feel kindly towards him and take them back.
Oh, yes, I know for a fact.
So what?
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Joseph Bauer claims his ex-wife, Brandy Bauer, still owes him for a car loan and rent.
Okay, let's hear.
Well, the point that he says that she was living with me is not true. She was living with Joe. The car was for my benefit to help me in my business.
Why would he do that?
He was trying to reconcile at that time because I had left in 1995. He was put in jail for spousal abuse. It was traumatic at that time.
He was put in jail for spousal abuse, but meanwhile your daughter was living with him, so there must have been a reason for that.
I couldn't financially make the means for me to support her and myself. And so she was with him at that time. At a later time, she came back with me.
Okay. He gave you $3,400 and he gave you an additional $1,000 because you didn't...
That's not true.
What's not true?
He did not give me additional $1,000.
Did you write this note?
Yes, ma'am.
This note says $4,400.
Oh, you're right, you're right. Yes, I did get that money at that time for
So
a
you
car.
got $3,400, you got an extra $1,000.
Yes.
And another $500 for an apartment.
No, I lived at my own place. I paid for it to get in.
Because he says that he gave you another $500 because you were going to be evicted from your apartment.
That's not true.
Is it not true like the other $1,000 wasn't true?
No, the 1,000 is.
You mean, but you just remembered that?
Yes.
You want me to tell you something, Mrs. Bauer? I think you're pretty slick. And let me tell you why I think you're pretty slick. When somebody gives you a gift, which you're saying that these were gifts. I have never, in all of my experience, seen somebody write a note that says, in exchange for the gift, I'm giving you this piece of paper in exchange for your gift. So his story has a ring of truth to it, that he gave you this money, you were supposed to pay him back. When he said, please give me a notarized paper, or a piece of paper that says, I promise to pay you back, you already had the money in your possession. So what you gave him was this, and you said, there you go, I gotcha. Because nobody gives this kind of a note when somebody makes them a present. Do you understand?
I
Unless you have a
understand.
good story that you'd like to concoct for me as to why you gave him this note.
He didn't have to take that note. He didn't have to take it.
He wanted a note. At the time, he wanted a note. What did he want a note for? Try to think of something, Mrs. Bauer. What would he want the note for? Just to say, like a thank you note?
Right.
Like a thank you note?
No.
Well, what do you think this note was supposed to be for?
I understand. It was to pay back the money.
Right. Now you got it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
So why didn't you pay him back?
I don't believe I owe it to him.
Shh. Why?
Things that had transpired in that time, I had left for spousal abuse with my daughter at that time. We had left. That was May of 1995. I was now living with my daughter June 1995 in another place. He was trying to reconcile, and in his attempts to try and get back together, he was willing to do anything. Give me money, help me with my rent.
He was willing to do anything to try to get his family back together. Is that right?
Right.
All right. And you said, I need a car, and I'll pay you back. I need another $1,000, and I'll pay you back. And you wrote out this note, the thank you note, right? You still haven't told me why you don't think that you ought to pay him back.
Because I knew his intentions behind loaning me the money. He was
Good. You read his mind as to what his intentions were, according to what you just said to me, for loaning you the money. What were his intentions for loaning you the money?
that he and I and my daughter, our daughter, would get back together, which I never once told him that that would be a way for us to be back together.
So that's what you assumed he gave you the loans for, is that
Oh,
right?
yes, I know for a fact.
So what? He made you loans. He may have hoped that if he made you the series of loans, you would feel kindly towards him and take them back. That doesn't make a loan a gift. That makes it a loan in anticipation of maybe, along with getting paid back, maybe you'll get back together again. And if you got back together again, maybe you would say, listen, if we're all a family, then you don't have to pay me back. But that didn't happen. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,900.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's
been a while coming. I'm glad that we can put this behind us. We have an amicable situation right now because we're both raising a daughter.
She's in the care at my home right now under my supervision, and I'm paying for her, and other things brought into this are irrelevant, really.
She had me arrested for spousal abuse. I did a year of parenting classes and a year of anger management, and I'm better for it.
The judge has made her final decision. I'm not happy with it, but it is final, so I just have to accept that and go on with my life.
I've moved on with my life. I live with a wonderful woman, and I have my own life now.
That's what you wrote here. Unless it's a 911 emergency. What does that mean?
Well, to me, a 911 emergency, if she have to call the ambulance.
Mom versus daycare.
Oh, what if a child is hit on the head and has a gash on the forehead?
Yes, that's a 911 emergency.
No, it isn't.
Well,
no, it isn't.
Okay.
Only for people that don't know how to put a child in the car and take a child to the pediatrician.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheinlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
All parties on Cabrat versus Skinner. Step forward, please.
31-year-old daycare owner Christy Cabrat claims 30-year-old mother Tracy Skinner owes her for childcare. Tracy says she filed a complaint after her 2-year-old daughter was injured.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 626 on the calendar in the matter of Cabrat versus Skinner. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Please have seats.
Ms. Cabrat, you run some sort of a child daycare center.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
You run that out of your home?
Yes, I do.
How long have you been doing that?
For about 2.5 years.
And you are licensed by the county?
By the state of California. Community care licensing.
According to your complaint, you accepted Miss Skinner's daughter into your class.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
When did you accept her into your class?
3/10/98.
Is that correct, Miss Skinner?
Approximately, yes.
And how long did you stay in your class?
Until February 2nd, 99.
So she was there for a long time.
Yes.
You claim that the defendant owes you for child care.
Correct.
Okay. Your cross-complaint says that because your daughter was terminated by the plaintiff, you will cause certain distress, including the fact that you had to lose days from work.
Yes.
So that's your counterclaim.
Yes.
So why don't you tell me, since the child was with you for a year, what precipitated the problem?
Another child was playing, twirling around with a baby bottle and a doll. And Shania, which is her daughter, walked into the child, which caused a little laceration on the forehead. I did try and contact the parent at work several times. I didn't receive a phone call back, so I felt the child needed medical attention. So I took her to her primary physician, which was in my charts. The doctor also tried calling the mother, and the mother did not call them back for 2.5 hours. So
But you took the child to the child's own doctor.
The child's pediatrician, which
Is that
the
correct,
mother
Miss
put.
Skinner?
Yes.
Okay, so far you don't have a problem with that.
Not at all.
Good. So what happened then?
Everything was fine. The mother finally contacted me about 20 to 2 that day. She picked her daughter up. Everything seemed fine. Then I received a phone call about 9 p.m. that evening. She stated that I overreacted to certain issues she felt.
Like what?
The week prior to that, her daughter was very ill. The mother goes out of town quite often for business. The child stays with her aunt, which is a witness right there. The week prior, her daughter was very ill, vomiting, and I tried calling the aunt, and I didn't get a phone call back for a few hours. So
What did you do?
what did I do? I had to keep the child. They're ill. I separated the child from the others, and we took care of her until the aunt picked her up.
Okay. So then you get this phone call a week later after the bottle. Mother did in fact come eventually, pick the child up. 9 o'clock that night, you called her and said you didn't like the way she handled it.
It was actually 8:45 in the evening. I made it a point, I waited that long because I was upset. And because my daughter was hurt in her facility, I waited that long. I wanted to make sure that I was calm and that I didn't call her angry because I knew I was returning my daughter there the next day. I didn't want her to, you know, do anything to my child.
Why did you ever need to calm down? It seemed
Well,
to
I was
me-
upset.
Why were you upset?
I was upset because I had already told her that in the future, if you cannot reach me within the first 15 minutes, please contact Valerie Mason. She told me she couldn't do that.
She couldn't contact?
She told me she did not have to do that. She did not have to contact the emergency contact.
Okay. So?
And so I called her back that evening, basically trying to find out why she was unable to reach me when I have so many forms of, you know, she can reach me.
Okay.
But yes, it does happen.
It does happen, and your daughter was, I assume, bleeding from her forehead?
Mm-hmm. She
Right?
waited an hour
Listen to
before.
me. She was bleeding from her forehead. Seems to me she reacted. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out why you were angry. Because if your daughter was bleeding, what she did was she may have gone to the phone, made a quick call, didn't get you right away. Child's bleeding, you say, forget this. Look up on the chart. Who is the child's primary physician? I'm not going to take the child to an emergency room. Going right to the child's doctor to make sure everything's okay. It seems to me that that's a good thing.
Very good.
So I don't know why you were put your hand down. So I don't know why you were angry.
No, I wasn't angry at that.
No, because you said to me you went home and you wanted to calm down. You didn't call it till later because you were so angry.
I was upset.
Upset.
Yes.
All right. So you were
I was upset my daughter got hurt, yes.
Well, but that happens when
Right.
you're in
Exactly.
a daycare facility.
And I didn't want to call her to make her angry because I knew that she would get defensive.
Okay. There came a time when you terminated her daughter.
Yes.
How much later did you terminate her daughter?
It happened the following Tuesday.
What happened?
Since I couldn't reach the parent at her job, and these were the current numbers on the medical consent, I gave her new forms that needed to be filled out, so in case of an emergency, I could contact her immediately. The forms were not returned until, they were given to her on Thursday, and they weren't returned until Monday. I did notice that there were stipulations on here that state in case of an emergency only, which because of licensing, I cannot accept that because it limits our ability to properly care for a minor child.
Let me see. I see exactly what you mean. This is a standard form from the Department of Social Services Community Care Licensing. When you return this form, instead of just indicating that these are the numbers, contact numbers, you wrote, only in a 9/11 emergency, otherwise parent or emergency contact must be notified, exclamation point. And then again you wrote, only in a 9/11 emergency, otherwise parent and or emergency contact must be notified and given further instruction. And she said to you, I cannot accept this form the way you wrote it out. Perfectly reasonable.
And she stated
Perfectly reasonable.
that I work for her and I would do as I was told.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now look, Ms. Skinner, you are clearly an intelligent woman, but your counterclaim is $1,429.70. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
And later today,
all of a sudden I saw a dog's head just above my hood and smashed right into it. The dog flew a little bit of a distance. I jumped out of my truck to try and help. It was a real chaotic scene.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Daycare owner Christy Cabret is suing Tracy Skinner for daycare charges. Tracy claims her daughter was injured and she was not immediately informed.
How many days of child care did your child attend her facility that she was not paid for?
She has a check in her possession. I prepay her $95 per week. I attempted to settle this matter out of court.
How many days are we talking about?
2 days.
2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you prepaid her, but then according to these papers, you stopped the check.
Yes.
Okay.
She refused to refund my money.
Well, you say that when you called the bank, they told you that there was already a stop payment on the
What
check.
happened was
Can I see the check,
I
please?
informed the mother that I would have to call the bank to make sure, because I deposited on Monday, Tuesday she wanted her money back. I said, I need to find out that the check cleared, and I would be more than happy to give you a refund and a copy of all your forms. The next day she called me and said, forget it, drop the forms in the mail, and when I called the bank, there was already a stop payment on it.
So it's about $40 for the 2 days, is that right?
It's $19 a day, because she's on a full-time rate, or
Okay.
it's $25 a day.
Okay, so it's $38 that she owes you for the
Correct.
2 days, right? Because this check is useless, right?
Yes.
All right, you clearly are entitled to your $38 so far. You have a cross complaint.
Yes.
For what?
Well, because she terminated my daughter on the spot. First of all, I get off at that time, my hours were 7 to 4. I get off at work at 4, and when I came in, she was in the kitchen. And when I came in to speak to her, I came in and I said, okay, what? We went through the same thing. At this time, we were
What
not.
same thing?
Oh, I'm sorry. The same
You
thing
went
we went
through
through
the
in the
form.
morning. Right.
You
she
went
said
through a
that she
discussion of the
couldn't-
form.
Right.
Now look, Miss Skinner, you are clearly an intelligent woman, and you clearly understood very well that what she was complaining about were the things that you hand wrote in
Right.
on this form, your own interpretation of what you wanted her to do. You clearly understood that. She says she can't do that. You say, whatever you say, these are my instructions, I'm the parent, you work for me, this is what I want you to do. She says, I can't do that. You don't say to her, well, then give me a form and I'll fill it out and leave out these special instructions.
No.
So she terminated your child. What do you want her to do, lose her license?
No, not at all. But
Good. So, if you had to take your child out of school because this was not a good form, right? Then you either get your aunt to watch the child for a day, or you get somebody else to watch the child for a day. But your counterclaim is $1,429.70. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And Ms. Skinner, it's clear that for almost a year you left your daughter in this facility. So it's clear that you felt as if, I'm sure you wouldn't have left her there if she wasn't receiving good care.
Exactly.
I will also tell you that I believe that the plaintiff acted wholly appropriately in treating your child medically.
I agree.
Wholly appropriately. And that these caveats that you put on this thing are inappropriate because it calls for somebody to make a determination as to what they believe is a 911 emergency. That's what you wrote here. Unless it's a 911 emergency, what does that mean?
Well, to me, a 911 emergency, if she have to call the ambulance and take him out, yes.
No, what if a child is hit on the head and has a gash on the forehead?
Yes, that's a 911 emergency.
No, it isn't.
Well,
No, it
she-
isn't.
Okay.
Only for people that don't know how to put a child in the car and take a child to the pediatrician. That's why emergency rooms are overcrowded. She did exactly the right thing. You ought to apologize to her. I'm awarding you $38 for taking care of the child, and I'm dismissing your counterclaim because it's nonsense. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Do I get my papers?
Yeah, you're good. Out the back door to your right, please.
Well, I'm glad that justice was served and that I did the proper thing.
I think justice was served. I wasn't really trying to get any money out of this. I just wanted her to go away.
I guess I just had a parent that didn't know what would be best for her child.
When my daughter originally got hurt, and I originally advised her that if she is unable to contact me, that she should contact her within the first 15 minutes. If she would have said okay, that would have been enough for me. And my daughter would have still been at her facility because she is a great child care provider.
I hope that parents, when they put their children in facilities, they know we're there for the best interest of the child and not the parent.
And now the next case.
All parties on Brunette versus Shirazi. Step forward, please.
34-year-old general contractor Daniel Brunette claims 42-year-old holistic healer Virginia Shirazi's Rottweiler ran in front of his truck. He hit the dog and is suing for damage to his truck.
Mr. Brunette, you're driving along in your truck. The defendant's dog ran out into the street. You hit the dog, damaged your truck.
That's correct.
And you want to be compensated, you want her to pay for the damage to the truck.
That's right.
Ms. Shirazi, are you conceding the fact, madam, that you are responsible for whatever the costs are, the reasonable costs for fixing the truck?
A small portion.
Okay, so you are conceding that your dog was in the wrong and you were neglectful in letting your dog be out in the street.
No,
Which-
not.
Well, your dog was out without a leash?
Yes.
What kind of a dog do you have?
A Rottweiler.
That's a big dog.
Mm-hmm.
What was your dog doing out without a leash?
I don't know. It was early in the morning. I believe he got out by mistake.
Okay. Well, your dog is supposed to be on a leash. You are supposed to be responsible as a pet owner to make sure that a dog, especially a dog that size, doesn't get out into the street.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He says that the estimate that he got from your body shop is $600. You have it here as $423. Well, is it
He
$600?
exaggerates everything.
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Daniel Brunette is suing Virginia Shirazi for damage to his truck after hitting her Rottweiler.
Tell me how the accident happened, sir.
Well, I was traveling eastbound on Los Feliz Drive about 7 o'clock in the morning, probably 20 miles per hour approximately. All of a sudden, I split second saw a dog's head just above my hood and smashed right into it. The dog flew a little bit of a distance. I jumped out of my truck to try and help. I couldn't get anywhere near the dog. The dog was growling at me. That's when some neighbors came out. Also were trying to help. It was a real chaotic scene.
Okay. Is your dog all right now?
Fine.
Good. Let me see the damage to the truck. Ooh, that's some strong dog.
110 pounds.
Did you see the damage to his
I'd
truck?
like to see that picture.
Sure. Show that to the defendant, please.
Okay.
Okay, did you get estimates on the truck?
Yes, I did.
Can I see them, please? You got one estimate, sir?
I have two. Here's the other one.
That's some difference.
I know. And I'm worried a little bit that the lower estimate might be a lowball figure, Your Honor.
What year truck is this, sir?
1987.
So the truck is
Yeah.
a decade old.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Or more.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You have any sort of homeowner's insurance that could help defray
No,
this
I don't.
cost? Okay. The lower estimate is $898.24.
I have a lower estimate. He was with me
A lower estimate from whom?
from another body shop. He went with me. We took the truck.
And what was the lower estimate?
I have it here.
Can I see it, please? Mr. Burnett, did you in fact accompany the defendant to another body shop?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please note that it says previous damage to it.
What's the problem with taking the truck to her?
Well, I agreed to take
Place.
the truck to her guy originally. This is a friend of hers. This is when she agreed to pay for the damage.
Right.
He did say he would do it for $600. He also specified to me that he would not do that work for me. He was only doing it for her. I guess there's not a real problem with taking it to this guy, except for the fact that he wouldn't even give me a written estimate at the time, and I just want to make sure it gets done properly. And in the beginning, I was trying to be as gentlemanly as I could about it, and agreeing to go ahead and go to a friend of hers, even though I wasn't sure. This guy was a legitimate businessman. So after she refused to pay, then that was pretty much the last contact I had with her.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
He says that the estimate that he got from your body shop was $600. You have it here as $423. Well, is it
He
$600?
exaggerates everything.
No, I'm asking you a question.
I'm sorry.
What
he
was it?
exaggerates everything. He's out. Anyway.
Have you ever had your body work done at this body work shop?
Yes, I trust him. Mike's Auto Body is a reputable body shop. Been in business for 10, 20 years.
Okay. The estimate that you have is $423.84. Make it $424, and his lowest estimate is $898 or $900. Bert, do me a favor, please. You're in charge of this. Add up those two figures, $898 and $424.
And then you want to divide it in half?
Yes.
I anticipated, Judge.
Well, we've known each other a long time.
Yes, we have. 661.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $661. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out. I'll have the back door to your right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
The judge made a fair decision. I'm just glad the dog is okay.
He was speeding. He wasn't wearing his glasses the day that it happened, and he wasn't driving 20 miles an hour.
Keep your dog on a leash.
My dog is fine. I'll be keeping him behind the fence where he normally is without a leash.
You believe the reason he repossessed the car was because you had filed a sexual harassment suit.
Right.
She also missed her payments.
He drove a car, cheap. What are you complaining about?
Or I have no car.
You want all the money back.
Right.
That means that you get to drive a car for 13 months for free. You paid about $200 a month for it to drive it around. Why are you complaining?
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheinlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
All parties on Harmon versus Wilkins. Step forward.
25-year-old Pamela Harmon is suing her former supervisor at Lee's Famous Recipe Kitchen, Anthony Wilkins, 36, for repossessing her car. Anthony says she stopped making payments.
All rise. Order in the court. Your Honor, this is case number 700 on the calendar in the matter of Harmon versus Wilkins. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Ms. Harmon, you worked at the same place where the defendant was employed. He was your supervisor, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you purchased an automobile from him back in, is it May of 1997?
Yes.
What kind of car was it?
It was an '89 Honda Accord.
And the purchase price?
It was a total of $6,000.
Okay. And from what I gather, your arrangement with him was, since you didn't have the money for the car, and you didn't have someone to co-sign a note for you, what you arranged to do was you would keep the title in your name until the purchase price was paid.
No, until she made arrangements to purchase the vehicle herself.
But the title was in your name?
Yes.
Okay. You drove the car for 13 months?
Yes, I did.
And then he repossessed the car because he says that you stopped making payments. Is that right?
Yes, she didn't drive it 13 months, though.
Well, she says that you repossessed the car in June of '98.
Yeah, but I didn't give her the car when you had stated. It was about 8 months, in my opinion.
I figured that she drove this car for 13 months. Is that what you say? You drove the car for 13 months?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you make the payments for the 13 months?
Yes, I did.
All the payments?
All of them.
Show me.
Mr. Wilkins refused to give me any receipts whatsoever. In fact, I tried to give him a money order, and he told me that he did not want his wife to know how much money was in his bank account. So he ordered for me to give him cash every time. When we got paid every 2 weeks, he would come down to the store, I'd go up to the bank, come back, and hand him $130.
Is that right,
every
sir?
time.
The $130 part's right.
What's not right?
For 8 payments. The wife thing, I have no idea what she's talking about, and the receipt thing, she never asked for one.
According to you, when did she stop making payments? You said she made some payments that were partial as well.
Yes.
Well, tell me about
But we
that.
had an ongoing, business relationship. I had loaned Pam money. Her, husband was a little abusive, trashed the cars that she had when I had met her. And so she stopped about, probably 6 weeks before I found the car.
Well, how much do you say she gave you in total during the time?
She gave me 8 payments of $260, I guess, is what she's trying to say. I thought the payment was $240.
You say she drove the car for 8 months, and she gave you 8 payments, so that she wasn't in arrears to you when you took the car back.
When I went and took the car, she had quit her job prior to that and was not making any payments.
Did you lose your job, or did you leave your job?
I did leave my job.
When did you leave your job?
June 2nd.
And when did you actually repossess the car?
I would probably say sometime towards the end of that, or maybe early July.
When did he repossess the car?
It was the 19th of June.
Had you made June's payment?
Yes, in fact, I made the payment on the 12th because I went to another job at UDF. He came to my job and got money from me, $130. At that time, he had asked me if I was filing a lawsuit against his company for sexual harassment. At that time, I told him no, but I was ordered by my attorneys not to discuss it with anybody. I had gotten in contact with my attorney on June 2nd, and on the 19th, the car is gone.
Okay. You indicate here that you believe the reason he repossessed the car was because you had filed a sexual harassment suit against both the company and he and his supervisor.
Right.
Was he the defendant in that action?
He is the supervisor I reported it to, and our lawsuit is for the company not doing anything about it.
So it was some other employee who you allege was sexually harassing you?
Right.
Mr. Wilkins, when did you find out about this lawsuit?
I have no idea what she's talking about. I've never been served any papers, Your Honor. No one's ever called or told me anything about a sexual harassment suit.
Mr. Wilkins, I didn't ask you whether you were served with papers, sir. What I asked you was, when did you discover that she was, in fact, by somebody telling you, by your employer telling you, by somebody telling you that she was, in fact, pursuing a sexual harassment claim?
Actually, I found out from her lawyer at an unemployment hearing that she subsequently lost because she...
When was that?
I don't know. She probably has to, whenever
December
that was.
28th of 97, or 98.
So are you testifying, Mr. Wilkins, under oath that you never knew about this sexual harassment lawsuit in June of 98?
Absolutely.
Okay. And the only reason you repossessed the car is because she had stopped making payments.
And couldn't find financing, and she was out of stories by that point.
Okay. Now, Ms. Harmon, let's take your best case scenario, okay? That you drove this car for 13 months, and then he repossessed it. The car was clearly in his name, right?
Yep.
You want all the money that you paid over the 13 months back.
Right.
That means that you get to drive a car for 13 months for free.
It was under my understanding that I was buying the car.
Just listen to me. You get to drive a car for 13 months for free. A car doesn't appreciate in value. A 1989 Honda does not appreciate in value like a Rolls Royce. It depreciates in value. Now, if you went to rent a car, how much do you think you'd pay for a rental car a month?
I have no clue.
Would you pay at least $200 a month? Can't get much for $200 a month for rental cars, right? You drove this car for 13 months, according to you. That's $2,600. According to you, you gave him $3,000. You can't prove it to me that you gave him $3,000. Sounds to me as if you had a pretty good deal. You had transportation, you drove a car, cheap. What are you complaining about?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You had a car?
Yes.
She borrowed your car?
Yes.
She wrecked your car?
Yes.
You had an accident and it was your fault?
And later today,
two of us fell in love immediately.
He gave you his entire paycheck.
What I told him at some point is, you're taking more money than you're giving me.
Well, you should have shown him the door.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Pamela Harmon claims Anthony Wilkins repossessed her car after paying him $3,000.
It's his car. You were renting it from him until you paid it off. So you are really you're in a much more favorable position, as a matter of fact, than when you started, because you had a car that you could drive that was a reasonable car for 13 months that you paid about $200 a month for to drive it around. Why are you complaining?
I lost the money and lost the car. I have no car. I'm supposed to have the car. Never once did I miss a payment. He had no reason to take the car.
I don't believe that after you quit your job and filed a sexual harassment suit that you were paying him diligently. And you should be smart enough, and if you're not smart enough, you will be in the future, that when you make a car payment, you get a receipt. If you pay it in cash, you get a receipt. You get something to say, I made this payment.
I trusted him. I thought I did.
That's all. This case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Justice prevailed.
Don't buy a car from him.
And now the next case.
All parties on Tomlinson versus Gerondale. Step forward, please.
19-year-old student Tara Tomlinson says her former best friend, 19-year-old nanny Hillary Gerondale, borrowed her car and wrecked it. Hillary says Tara never asked if she was hurt.
I have a lot of questions about this case. Ladies, you were friends when you were growing up and going to school in Alaska, is that right?
Correct.
You had a car?
Yes.
She borrowed your car?
Yes.
She wrecked your car?
Yes.
That was 3 years ago.
Correct.
How old were you at the time?
16.
And you?
16.
But let's just talk about the fact that you let this thing ride for 3 years. You knew it was your fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had an accident and it was your fault. And the idea is that when you have an accident and it's your fault, you take care of it immediately. So this is your mom?
Correct.
Step up here. Ms. Tomlinson?
Yes.
Can you tell me why you didn't immediately, when your daughter told you that her car had been wrecked, initiate suit against Ms. Gerondale on behalf of her daughter for the costs of having your car fixed?
Well, we did initially contact them and made every effort to even split the cost with them of what it had cost us. They said that they would not pay for any of it. So we did. Hillary's father.
Why didn't your insurance cover it?
Well, it would have covered it, but Tara had had an accident already.
Your daughter?
Uh-huh. And she had just turned 16 in September of that year, and she had had an accident, and they said if we turned this in, if there were any other accidents within the next 3 years, they'd cancel our insurance.
Okay. Now, my question to you is, I assume you discussed this matter with your husband. Is that right? Didn't you feel any responsibility at all?
At the time, he did offer to pay to the deductible, but by the time things escalated, the deductible wasn't going to be there because they chose not to turn into the insurance.
What was your deductible?
$500. And they never paid even the $500.
Well,
they completely
never did
washed their
anything.
hands of the whole thing.
Well, do you feel as if you have a moral obligation to pay the $500?
Yes.
Which means that the insurance would have covered the other out-of-pocket expenses you had, but for the fact that your daughter had had a previous accident. Is that
Yes.
right? So you would consent to a judgment in the amount of $500. Is that fair?
Yes.
Perfect. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Our friendship suffered over something like this, and she and I were best friends for 4 years.
I'm just glad after 3 years it's over with, and I just wish it could have been over with 3 years ago so we could have rekindled our friendship.
And now the next case.
Parties on Oaks versus Finley. Step forward, please.
48-year-old dog breeder Mignon Oaks is suing former live-in lover, auto salesman James Finley, 49, for rent. James says he gave Mignon all the money he made.
Miss Oaks, you and the defendant lived together for 2 years.
For 11 months.
Okay. And you were hoping to build a future together, I assume.
Yes, ma'am.
It didn't work out.
No.
You say that he owes you money for room and board.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
In May of '97, I produced a program, and I had a gospel singer to come and put on a concert. James was one of her background singers. We met and we traveled in similar circles, and the two of us fell in love immediately. By September 27th, he moved in with me. One of the first things we decided on was that he would pay rent and how much the rent would be. We agreed on $250 per month, and he agreed that he would contribute $2 per month towards the food bill. What I didn't understand was the financial situation that he was in when he moved in. He worked a temporary job, and they didn't.
Just a minute. Well, you acknowledge, Miss Oakes, in your papers, and he indicates that he gave you his entire paycheck.
He gave me his entire check.
And that you took that check. Is that right?
Yes.
And with that check, I assume that you used it to pay a variety of bills, and he took money out of that to have cash in his pocket as well. Is that right?
What he did is came to me for his car note, for gasoline, for food money, for money to lend to, which I later found out was still his wife. I did not know that he was married, to give her money for gasoline. He'd often let her use his car and use one of my cars. What I told him at some point is, you're taking more money than you're giving me.
Well, you should have shown him the door.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I was there for him. I supported him. I tried to help him be the man that he wanted to be.
Well, it doesn't work out that way, Miss Oakes.
Closed captioning sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Mignon Oakes is suing former live-in lover James Findley for rent.
So you took his paychecks and you handled the finances as if you were a married couple.
Yes, ma'am.
But when it didn't work out, you want him to pay you the $250 a month rent for 11 months. Is that right?
That's correct.
And food.
That's correct.
Well, it doesn't work out that way, Miss Oakes.
Your Honor, there were more things involved that I did for him that were specifically loans. There are many things that I did for him because I cared for him, because I loved him.
Show me the list that's for loans.
What I have here, after he moved out, he made 3 payments to me on the loans that he agreed he owed me. It wasn't just for food and rent. I kept his car note current so that he could keep a job or try to find a job, paid gasoline bills so that he can get to and from. I bought him the suit that he's wearing so that he wouldn't look so shabby and perform.
Show me what he says he owes you.
What I have here is a copy of 2 checks, front and back, that he paid me. After he moved out, one for $500 and one for $100.
Okay, so he
They
paid
are
you.
made payable to me as a beginning. We got together, we sat down, we looked at the list. We both agreed on what he owed me.
Well, what did you both agree on?
He would pay me $300 a month each month beginning in January of this year for
What?
2 years.
Did you agree to pay her $300 a month for 2 years?
Yes, I did. I did agree to pay her because initially she said that I owed her $11,000. And I've kind of got behind in the payments. I mean, we settled on a $7,500 figure, which again, both of those figures that she had presented me with initially, I felt were just too much money. So we tried to compromise at $7,500 with me paying her a certain amount of money. And it just hasn't worked out where I've been able to fulfill that obligation every month.
Okay. Now, what was that for, Mr. Findley?
Again, the times that she paid my car note, quite a few gift items that she bought me, a few things that she had bought for my children.
Okay.
And
How much was your car note?
a little under $400 a month.
How many times did she make this car payment for you?
3, maybe 4 months consecutively.
Well, that's $1,600. We're not up to $7,500 yet or even close. What else?
There were a couple of cruises that we went on together. There were a couple of out-of-town engagements that she helped me get to.
Well, when you went on cruises together, was there an agreement that you would pay half?
No.
When you went on cruises together, how did that come about?
We, as soon after we met, we went on a gospel cruise with a friend of ours, and he was singing on that cruise.
Did that cost you any money?
Yes.
Well, how much did it cost you?
He borrowed $100 from one friend on the cruise, $100 from another friend on the cruise, and $100 from me. Okay,
I'm not
I
interested
paid the extras. The second cruise we went on a year later, he agreed to pay me back, and it was $625 in total for the cruise and the air.
Does that sound familiar, the $625 for that cruise?
Yes. And there was an amount that I gave her immediately as we returned from the cruise that she accepted, and I thought that was actually my end of it.
How much was that?
It was over $250.
Does that sound familiar?
He gave me $800, a check for $500, a check for $200.
For what?
A check for $100 towards the entire debt, rent, food, the cruise. He was married. He could never come up with the money to file divorce papers. There was the filing fees for that. There were the car notes. I paid for his insurance for 2 months. I had to give him gasoline to go to work every day. We were trying to make it. I was there for him. I supported him. I tried to help him be the man that he wanted to be. It just didn't work out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. Need help in a divorce? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
Why did you stop paying her?
Well, you know, really, we started having some real problems. She became abusive. I'm still getting these threats that she's going to do this or that and tear up this or tear up that. You know, it came to a point where I was suggested to me by a friend that I should get a restraining order, and I didn't do that. It was also suggested by my employer that I do that because she had wrote letters to my job, addressed to my managers and all that.
Was this all about money?
Well, at this point, it seems to be all about money.
Okay, so she wanted her money. If you had paid her her money, she would have left you alone.
I don't think so.
Well, let's try it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door to your right.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He's really a wonderful man. I happen to still be in love with him.
Well, I definitely don't want any enemies. I could definitely be a friend to Miss Oaks.
He's a card, too. I mean, the dog ate the rent money.
It was stolen. She said to her friend that she was going to get a gun and she was going to kill me. It's not a lie. She did that.
To kill a roommate.
You could understand why she was angry.
But for her to say that she's going to kill me, that's not right.
No, and my sense is that sometimes you say, I'm going to kill her, and then you don't mean it. And of course, there are occasional times when that does happen.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheinlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
All parties on Hill versus Loker. Step forward.
22-year-old office clerk DeShane Hill says former roommate, 21-year-old receptionist Ariel Loker caused her to be evicted. Ariel says DeShane threatened to kill her.
All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 695 on the calendar in the matter of Hill versus Loker. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats.
How old are you?
23.
And you?
21.
According to this complaint, you two decided to live together. You signed a 6-month lease on an apartment. You moved in September. You each paid half the rent of September. Is that right?
That's correct.
And then came October, and you didn't have any money for the rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you working?
Yes, ma'am.
So why didn't you have any money for the rent?
I had the money for rent. My little sister's car got broken into. We had it in there. We were at a friend's apartment, and it was broken into, and it was stolen. We know who did it, but...
What does this have to do with your rent money?
That was the rent money that was in there.
I mean, the dog ate the rent money.
No, the dog didn't eat the rent money. It was stolen out of the car.
What'd you leave the money in the car for?
We had it in the glove compartment.
What'd you have it in the glove compartment for? I mean, you say that as if it's normal. People don't leave cash in a glove compartment.
I know. We shouldn't have done it, but we did.
In any event, she didn't have the rent money for October. You paid your half?
Yes, I did.
And then in mid-October, what happened?
We got an eviction notice on the door. And when I had first talked to her about the rent, and she had told me about that, because I asked her for the rent money, I was just going to go write a check. And that's when she told me that she didn't have the rent money. I went and I paid my half of the rent, hoping that she would pay hers, and she never said anything else about it. October 15th, we got an eviction notice. So I waited for her to come home. She came home with another young woman, which I believe is her witness. And I was upset. So, you know, I'm asking her, why isn't the rent paid? She tells me, oh, I had money stolen, and my parents had money stolen, something else, I don't know. And I said, okay, but the rent needs to be paid. you know? And so she starts telling me her sob story about everything that's going on and saying that she has no way to pay it and that I'm not being understanding. My point was, maybe I'm not being understanding, but this is my rental history. This is my credit. And even if she has other problems, she shouldn't affect that.
Absolutely right.
Right. So what she said is she took her witness with her and said, well, I'm going to go call somebody and see if I can get the money. She came back later that evening. My boyfriend, who's my witness, was there. She came back later that evening and said that she had got the money, someone was going to send it to her, and that she'd pay the rent tomorrow. I didn't think anything of it. I believed her. She went upstairs, took a few boxes, and that was the last I saw her.
Why did you move out?
Because she threatened. Amanda and I were in there. First of all, Billy was never there after any of this happened.
Just tell me why you moved out.
Okay, that's fine. We went upstairs. She's on the phone screaming. We hear smashing downstairs. There was glass all over our kitchen. She said to her friend that was on the phone that she was going to get a gun and she was going to kill me. And that's exactly what she said. Amanda was there, heard it. It's not a lie. She did that. And the way she was acting, we were both scared. So I went home, talked to my parents, talked to a couple people, and I decided to get out. I'm not going to stay somewhere where I'm going to be fearing for my life.
You could understand why she was angry.
Oh, of course I could. But for her to say that she's going to kill me, that's not right.
No.
It's not worth killing someone over.
No. I know my sense is that sometimes you say, I'm going to kill her, and then you don't mean it. And of course, there are occasional times when that does happen. But it's not usual. Well, you know, you have to be responsible for some of the damages that she claims.
I completely understand that.
All right, good. Now, you ended up paying.
Yes, I did.
In October, her half of the rent.
Yes,
and
I did.
how much was her half of the rent?
Well, that month we had a discount where we got $100 off our rent. So her half of the rent for that month was $325.
Okay. And then you had to stay there in November because you had to give them 30 days notice.
In order to protect my rental history.
Right. And so what was her half of the rent for November?
$375. But I also had to pay reletting and cleaning fees as well as a result of this. I had to pay those. She did not pay any part.
Okay. Now, how much were the reletting fees?
$637.50.
$637 was the total.
Right. And the cleaning fees were $115 charged by the apartment complex.
Just a second. The whole thing comes to about $1,075. The next part of it of your lawsuit is punitive damages.
Right.
A couple of $1,000.
Little under.
$1,700. How did you pick $1,700 for punitive damages?
Well, there's a simple fact that when she did this, I ended up missing a week and a half of work. And that was because I had things that I had to work out with this apartment complex. I had things that I had to find somewhere else to live in a very short amount of time. This was money, I had to borrow money to come up with, to pay the reletting fees, things of that nature. I also missed a week and a half of school. My grade point dropped. You know, I had all A's and B's.
Oh, you know, you could go on, and then and because your grade point dropped, you couldn't get into graduate school, and you couldn't get into graduate school, so you couldn't get a great job, and therefore affected your whole life. And over your lifetime, it probably cost you $150,000.
But I would never have had these problems if she would have just stuck to the lease.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, because of this agreement that she broke, I'm paying extra rent per month.
It's an interesting theory, but one that doesn't fly.
And later today,
I asked her to marry me, and she accepted. And then she told me she didn't love me anymore, and that she wanted me to move out.
I don't know why you fell out of love with this guy, because he looks like a perfectly terrific guy to me.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Deshane Hill is suing former roommate Ariel Loker for causing her to be evicted. Ariel felt physically threatened and had to move.
In court, there are certain damages that are provable and certain things that we call aggravation. So this caused you aggravation. You don't get compensated for aggravation. What you do is you try to ensure that when you select somebody as a roommate, they have sufficient funds in order to pay their rent and pay their share, right? And the next time, I would strongly urge you and anybody else who's going to pick a roommate, somebody either that they know casually or even that they know very well, that says, listen, I'm going to go into this roommate situation with you. We're going to treat it like a business. We're each going to put so much in the pot at the beginning so that we are sure that we can make these payments at least for 3 months. And if you can't, then we know that we have a certain amount of security.
Right.
All right? But she's not going to compensate you for your aggravation, the drop of your grade point
Well,
average.
it's not. I mean, it's not just that. It's the simple fact that I had to come up with other forms of money to pay for her part. I had to come up with extra money to get me another apartment, and now because of this agreement that she broke, I'm paying extra rent per month versus. I could have been paying $120 less per month.
So you
had we
also
lived
want her
together.
to pay the difference in the rent that you're paying now and that you were paying with her over the term of your lease?
I wouldn't have to pay it if she wouldn't have broke it.
Ms. Hill, it's an interesting theory, but one that doesn't fly. You're entitled to $1,075 from her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,075.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Pick your roommates carefully.
Be very
Get
careful.
to know them.
Yes, that's one thing I can agree with her on. Pick your roommates carefully because you don't need to get in a situation like this. It's horrible.
And now the next case.
All parties on Ford versus Foster. Step forward, please.
46-year-old retail salesman Scott Ford is suing his ex-fiancée, 33-year-old reservations agent Deanna Foster, for wedding costs and remodeling her home before she kicked him out.
You met at the Home Depot, where you were working, sir.
Yes. Yes.
A romance blossomed and you moved in together. You
Yes.
moved into her home.
Yes.
How long did you live together?
From April 1st to October 31st.
And then it didn't work out and you left.
I was asked to leave.
And I gather from your papers, sir, that you feel as if you were used when you were there.
Somewhat, yes.
To complete construction that she was doing on her house.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be compensated for that.
And other things as well.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, like you say, I met Deanna at the Home Depot where I worked, and we got along. I met her and her daughter both there. We went out on a date. I was invited to her home. I went on further dates with her and included Nicole along with that.
Nicole is her daughter.
Yes, ma'am. We figured that we both had something in common. We could work together, and so I asked her to marry me, and she accepted. And when I moved in, we were acting as man and wife. I added my income to hers. Right away, she went and got a wedding dress. We started seeking out a place to get married. And we started working on projects around the house. Met her because of a tile countertop she was doing and repaired that. Helped her to make a recession in a wall to put a refrigerator in there. Helped to buy and install a block wall, saltillo tile on the floors, new cabinets. Then when everything started coming to its climax, I just felt like we weren't getting along, you know. Then she told me in approximately September that she didn't love me anymore and that she wanted me to move out, which I did at the end of October. However, I did continue to go over there to make sure that all the projects were completed, like the tile.
Well, tell me, Mr. Ford, what do you think she owes you in terms of money and why?
Because I put my account, my money, we put our money together. We were basically living as man and wife. And my income was going in with hers to help pay for these projects. It also went to paying on the wedding site that we were supposed to get married at, the Grove. That was $1,000 down. The wedding dress, I really don't know how much she paid on the wedding dress. She discussed with me a wedding cruise for a honeymoon. I'm not sure how much money, if any money, went into that. But she told me that all of this was non-refundable. And some things occurred that made me start thinking. And when I called in January to the Grove, I put a call into him. I found out she got money back on December 4th. We put $1,000 down. She got $900 back. Never told me.
Did you get $900 back?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you give him his half?
No, he said he didn't want it. We discussed it all. He said he didn't want it. He just wanted to get back together with me, and this whole thing is because he's heartbroken.
Well, that may be true, but you don't want to get back together with him.
I
Why
did
should
offer to pay him back. I told him I don't have it right now, but I did offer him. And he said, I don't want the money. I even offered him the dress. He said he didn't want it.
What am I going to do with a wedding dress?
Right.
Sell it.
Mr. Ford, there are certain things that you don't get compensated for, unfortunately.
Sure.
You don't get compensated for the work that you did in the house. You were living in the house, sharing expenses, whatever the expenses of the house were. If there's a mortgage on it, if there's gas, electric, phone, all the other things, you were living there, and the intention was that you were going to get married, so that you were pooling your money. You know, people would be wise if, before they got married, they sort of kept things separate.
Okay.
Sometimes people are smart, even after they're married, to keep things separate, since the divorce rate in this country is 50%. Where do you live in California?
No, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay. Is there community property in Las Vegas?
Yes.
Well, if there's community property, you know that after you're married, whatever investment you made in the house, half of that is yours. But before you're married,
zilch. Okay.
you get left with nothing and a little bit of a broken heart.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
You had the computer and you used it for 19 days.
Yes.
Well, you can't do that.
We used each other's property.
No, but this was a sale. Come on.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Scott Ford claims ex-fiancée Deanna Foster had him remodel her home, pay wedding costs, then kicked him out. Deanna says she changed her mind about marriage.
So far, you owe him $450. What about the wedding dress?
The wedding dress is non-refundable.
Did you buy it?
Yes, ma'am. I have a receipt for $600.
Good. And what did you just tell him to do with the wedding dress?
I told him he could have it and he can sell it and take whatever he can get out of it. And he said he didn't want it.
Good. So I'll tell you the same thing. Sell it.
Okay.
So say you can find somebody to buy it for you $400. You also owe him half for that, $200 for the wedding dress. What else?
That's it.
So far, I've got $650, sir.
Okay.
That you're absolutely entitled to. As far as the work on the house,
Okay.
you don't get compensated for that.
All right.
All I can say to you is this, Miss Foster. I don't know why you fell out of love with this guy, because he looks like a perfectly terrific guy to me. Thank you. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $650.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Good luck, Scott.
Watch yourself, guys. There's plenty of them out there just like this one.
And now the next case.
Parties on Goldsby versus Brantley. Step forward, please.
Purchasing agent Connie Goldsby says her former friend, office manager Carolyn Brantley Knott, sold her a bad computer. Carolyn is countersuing Connie for using the computer without paying.
Miss Goldsby, this was a friend of yours.
Yes.
And she had a computer, second-hand computer. She was selling it.
Yes.
She was selling it for $1,000?
$600.
$600. And you gave her $200 down.
Yes.
And took the computer.
Yes.
What was your arrangement with her as far as paying back the rest?
I was going to pay her within a week or two, and there was some problems with the software, with the DOS in there. She was trying to locate, she tried to install her DOS floppies.
Just listen to me.
Okay.
I know nothing about computers.
Neither did I.
Okay, I know nothing about it. So we're going to make believe that I'm a computer idiot, and we're just going to go on the law.
Okay.
You bought this computer for $600. You gave her $200 down. You were supposed to pay her the rest when?
Within a few weeks.
Within
we
a few
didn't have
weeks.
a specific date.
But within a few weeks?
Yes.
Okay. And there came a time when you told her you didn't want the computer anymore.
Yes.
How much after she brought it to your house?
Well, the final time that I had told her was about 19 days. We, for the 2.5 weeks up until that 19th day, we were trying to resolve what problems there were with the software.
Well, this is a second-hand computer. It's not under warranty. So after 19 days, you told her you didn't want the computer anymore.
Right.
And did you bring it back to her?
No, actually, she was at my home. I had it prepared for her to take, and I was going to help her load it. She turned around and walked out. Well, I told her that I didn't want to buy the computer, and that she could reimburse me the $200, at her convenience due to their, financial situation. And she turned around and said to me that she hoped my kids didn't screw it up.
Well, you had the computer and you used it for 19 days.
Yes.
Well, you can't do that.
Well, it was back and forth. Carolyn and I were trying to resolve.
But you were using it during that 19-day period. You had kids, and your kids were using the computer. That's part of her defense. that your kids were using it during that period of time, during that 3-week period.
We were playing.
Well, so this is a very easy case. You have the computer back?
I do.
Ms. Goldsby, you buy a secondhand computer. A secondhand computer does not come with a guarantee. It does not come with a warranty. And if you knew immediately that there were certain problems with this computer, either you say, look, I don't want to buy it, it's trouble, but you don't keep it for 3 weeks, let your kids use it, and then say, I don't want it anymore because I really can't fix it, and then expect to get your money back.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
Ms. Goldsby, after 19 days, you're not entitled to your money back. What gets worse is you kept the computer in your house for an additional period of time. Then, ultimately, she said, all right, I'll give you back your $200. Let me have the computer back. And when she got it back from you, you sent your daughter to pick it up?
My daughter went to pick it up.
How much after this 19 days? How much after the initial purchase?
There was a total of 45 days is what it was in her home. And
so a month and a half later.
The day they went to pick it up, her son was using it. My daughter had to wait for her son to get done using it to be able to take it.
Okay.
But she was talking with my daughter. They were friends.
Doesn't make any difference. You used her property. You used her property.
We used each other's property.
No, but this was a sale. Come on.
Okay.
Ms. Goldsby, it's ridiculous. You can't have your $200 back. You don't really want to countersue her, do you?
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm dismissing your countersuit for use of the computer. Sell it. Meanwhile,
I can't sell it.
You're wrong to expect your money back. I mean, if you want to give her the other $400, she'll give you the computer back. You want that?
No.
And
just a second. Okay. Hold on a second. You don't want that. No. So you're out $200. Your kids used the computer for 45 days. It cost you $200. That's all. This case is over.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, she got pregnant from another man just 4 months after the wedding. Now the groom won't help with the bills.
I don't blame him.
I don't understand how you don't blame him.
Judge Judy Justice.
I felt she sold out our friendship for $200 after 20 years.
I'd rather not deal with a person that doesn't have the same feelings of friendship that I do.
If it was only worth $200, it wasn't a friendship.
We have no friendship.
Your lawsuit claims that the defendant assaulted you by spitting at you.
Yes.
She curses me out again and tries to take a swing.
A spit and a spat.
He came around, kept using vulgar language, and then he spit in her face.
Tell me about this spitting, Mr. Aceda.
You know, when you get face to face with somebody, I mean, contact, nose, almost no, bumper to bumper, little spray got on her.
No.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheinlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
All parties on Hernandez versus Aceta. Step forward, please.
18-year-old former video store clerk Julianne Hernandez claims 40-year-old contractor Dominic Aceta assaulted her and got her fired. Dominic says she was rude.
All rise. Yeah, this is case number 574 on the calendar in the matter of Hernandez versus Aceta. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Ma'am, have a seat.
Ms. Hernandez, you were working at a video store. Your lawsuit claims that the defendant caused you to be fired from your job, and he also assaulted you by spitting at you.
Yes.
You wanted to rent a particular video.
What happened was I had asked my wife to call the store because every Tuesday the new movies have come out. My wife called the store and...
All right, so let your wife come up here.
I had called the store on Tuesday. I had gone off work, and I said, what movies have come out? And she said, well, I don't know. I said, well, you work there. I'm sure you should know what movies come out. And then all of a sudden, she just threw the phone down, this individual threw the phone down, and didn't get back on the phone for 5 to 7 minutes. When the person got back on the phone, it was not the same person. It was a Filipino girl that had been working there, Asian, and she got back on the phone. She has a strong accent. She said, "Oh, can I help you? You've been waiting." I go, "Well, do you have the movies that came in?" The girl went and checked, and and then she comes back. She goes, "Yes, we have the movies." And then she hung up on me. What I wanted, and then I called back and I said, "Well, whoever hung up on me real fast, I said I wanted to make sure if you guys can hold the movies for me."
Okay.
And this was the first person that had answered the phone.
So when you called back, the first person who had originally thrown down the phone was the person that you got.
Correct.
And you asked to reserve those movies.
Yes, and the policy is to hold them for 1 hour during the weekday until you get there. And she said, "Oh," I go, "Well, those movies that you do have, can you hold them for me?" She goes, "Well, how long are you going to be?" And I said, "I'll be there within the hour." She goes, "Well, if you're not here in 30 minutes, I'm going to have to give them to another customer." Click, and hangs up the phone. I was like, what do what's going on here? And then my husband, I go, "Well, I got to hurry up. I got to get going. I got to go rush." I go, "I can't believe they hung up. I've been going there for 7 years. I know everybody there." So he's like, "Who hung up on you?" And I'm like,
He was angry.
Yes.
So then you called.
Yeah, so how I got
Okay.
involved with this is I called up and I asked who was rude to my wife, and they started a giggling game, and they hung up. So I got mad. I called back. I said, "Excuse me." I said, "I'd like to hear everybody's voice in there." So I heard one person's voice, which is assistant manager Jenny. I know her. She didn't say it. The Filipino one, she's got a strong accent. She's known me for a long time. She didn't say it. She got on and she kind of like admitted that it was her.
What did she say?
She said, "Yeah, it was me, and so what, and I don't care who you call." So I said, "Okay, that's fine."
I didn't say that.
Just a second.
And then hung up. So what I did is I called back a third time. I asked the store manager at that time, Jenny, I said, "Excuse me," I said, "may I have the boss's number?" They go, "No, we don't have it." Hung up. I said, "Fine." So what I did, I called another store, video store, and I asked them for the number. They gave me the regional number. So I called them up. I explained to them what had happened. What she did then they got the manager of the store to call my house and say, "Hey, you know what? We're so sorry. I pulled you up in the computer. You're a hell of a customer." They go, "I'll tell you what. Why don't you go back to the store? We'll give you the 2 movies you want to rent on the house, and the third one we're going to give you for free. You can take it home. It's yours." So anyway, I went back in there with me, my spouse, and my baby. We walk in there. I grabbed the 2 movies I'm talking. I said, "Who was the one that was being rude?" And they go, "It was her." I said, "Okay." And I was telling the girl, I go, "Well, I guess her boss will be talking to her." As I'm walking out, it could have just been left alone. She curses me out.
What did she say?
She said, "F you and F whoever you talk to." I get mad. I get in her face.
Oh,
I said,
you're
"You know what?"
lying.
I get in her
What
face.
is
I
it?
go, "You know what? Don't F and ever talk to somebody like that. And second of all, you should never even talk to a
He's not
customer like
lying.
that." And then what happened, she curses me out again and tries to take a swing, and that's when the other 2 girls hold her down. So what I did, I just went home. I called up her boss again, explained the story, what happened. They fired her. I didn't tell them to fire her. She got fired. You know what I mean?
I have a witness that was there from the time he walked in to the time he left, right here, and he was my next customer in line, so he knows what happened.
Okay. Your name, sir?
Tariq Grant.
Hi, Mr. Grant.
I was standing there, right there, the next customer. I could tell when he came in because he came in and he slammed the videotapes on the counter. And he wasn't with his wife or his baby; he was alone. And then he came in, he was pointing at Julianne, and he was using profane language and saying, "I hope your boss deals with you." And then at that time, the whole store had went quiet. And then Julianne replied, was like, "I don't care what you say." And then at that time, he was like kind of behind me, and he came around, went behind the counter, and got up in her face, and that's where he kept using vulgar language, and then he spit in her face there.
Did you see him spit in her face?
Yes, I was like probably from here to halfway to you.
Did you hear the plaintiff use any bad language to him?
No, I didn't.
Nothing?
No.
Okay. Tell me about this spitting, Mr. Aceda.
Yeah.
You sort of acknowledged that you spit at her.
No, what it is I got face-to-face with her, and when I used that word, a little spray. You know, when you get face-to-face with somebody, I mean, contact, nose, almost no, bumper to bumper,
No.
little spray got on her.
No.
That's
How do
what
you
it
know?
was.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. You were
Okay.
pretty angry.
No, I
He was
wasn't.
angry after she acted up and started swearing.
I mean, she
and
cursed me
everything.
out in front of the whole
Look,
store, you know what
look,
I mean?
this is what
Okay.
happened. He came in the store and he was angry at me because
He
I
didn't
hung
even know
up on
who
him.
you
No.
He was angry.
Listen, I don't want you to say a word now. She was quiet. Now you have to be quiet. Understood? Go.
Okay, he was angry at me because I hung up on him on the phone because he had threatened me that he was going to slap me. And so I don't have to take that, so I hung up on him. Okay? He came in the store and he asked me what my name was, and I told him my name. And he said, "So you're the one who hung up on me?" I said, "I guess so." And so then he went and he started talking to my assistant manager, Janine, and then he he like started bad-mouthing me to all the customers, and I was just ignoring him, you know, trying to put it aside. And then he was about to leave, and he was saying bye to everybody, and then he was like, well, I hope the district manager deals with you. And I said, I don't care what you say to me, you can leave now. And then he came around into my work area and he said, what did you say to me? I said, you heard what I said, and he spit in my face.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He's not entitled to spit at you. And quite frankly, Mr. Reseda, I believe that that's what happened.
And later today,
Well, he's certainly no Prince Charming then, according to you, madam. So what'd you invite him into your house for?
Because he was sweeping me off my feet.
Well, just a second. Explain to me how somebody sweeps you off your feet when you pay every time you go out.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Former video store clerk Julianne Hernandez is suing store customer Dominic Acheta for spitting in her face and getting her fired.
Now, did your district manager actually speak to you?
No, he did not even ask me what happened. Okay. He just fired me 2 days later.
Okay.
Because he was calling him and hounding him and telling him what a bad person I was.
Well, how do you know he was hounding him?
Because my manager told me. I was very good friends with my manager. He didn't want to fire me. He told me everything.
Okay. When you spoke to the defendant on the phone, were you polite?
No, I was not polite to him because
were you No, not because.
I only talked to him once.
Did you speak to his wife?
No, I did not.
You never spoke to his wife?
I did not speak to his wife that night.
Who was the person that you spoke to the first time that you called?
It's her. The other one has a strong accent, and the other one, Janine, I've been calling there. I know her. She was the manager. She was very nice. I mean, we didn't even know who Juliana was.
There was another girl there. Her name was Lisa, and she was there.
Wasn't her, though.
She told us it was you. Janine told us it was you.
Okay, don't talk to her. Don't talk to her.
Look,
let me tell you something. Ms. Hernandez, your lawsuit really is in two parts. And the first part of your lawsuit is that he caused you to be fired.
Right.
He didn't cause you to be fired. You were fired because your employer found that you were rude to a customer. And your employer is allowed to fire you. And he is allowed to make a complaint. He was a customer of long standing. He had never had problems in the store before. And he's allowed to make a complaint if he believes that an employee has acted inappropriately. And I can't say to this man, don't make a complaint. He made a complaint. And he's absolutely entitled to do that. He's not entitled to spit at you.
That's what he did, though.
That's what he's not entitled to do. And quite frankly, Mr. Reseda, I believe that that's what happened. Whether you did it intentionally or whether it was just a little accident, I believe that you did, in fact, do that. Now, Ms. Hernandez has filed this lawsuit for $5,000, really, for causing her to be fired, and she's also filed this lawsuit because she says that you also assaulted her by spitting in her face. Well, spitting in her face is really a pretty disgusting thing to do. So she's going to get some money for that because I think that you acted wholly inappropriately. You had taken this matter to its course. You had spoken with the district manager. You spoke to the manager. You should have picked up your videos and left. That's it. You know, you were hot, right?
No.
You weren't hot?
No, I was walking out the store when she cursed me out.
Listen, she's young and she's got a big mouth.
Yeah.
But you made the mistake because you're a mature person. She's a hot kid, but you're a mature person. And you really were not smart to get in her face, close enough to get in her face, to either accidentally or on purpose spit in her face. It's going to cost you $500. Judgment is for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
This should have never happened.
It should have never happened. I should have just got my movies, which I was doing, and walked out the door. If she wouldn't have said anything, there would have been no confrontation at all.
I love that job, and I was very good at it, and I lost it, and I lost all my income.
And now the next case.
Parties on Kinsman versus Brewer. Step forward, please.
32-year-old dispatcher John Kinsman says he moved out of his former lover, Michelle Brewer's home, but she won't give him his TV, VCR, and clothes back. Michelle says John owes her money.
Mr. Kinsman, I read your complaint, sir, and from what I understand, you had recently divorced, and shortly after the divorce, you met the defendant.
Correct.
And after a relatively brief courtship, you moved in with her.
Mm-hmm.
How brief a courtship?
About a month. Yeah.
And that living arrangement lasted about 3 weeks.
Correct.
You moved out. She kept some of the things in the house that belonged to you that you had moved in with. You want them back.
Yep.
She says that you owe her a whole bunch of money, and when you pay her that money, you can get your things back. Is that it?
Yeah, that's cut and dry.
Just tell me what happened in those 3 weeks that caused you to move out.
Well, I moved in and she had a dirty house. I did all the, the cooking and the cleaning, and I've got kids, and she bonded with the kids real well.
With your children?
With my children,
in
correct.
3
yeah.
weeks?
Yeah. And then things kind of changed. I'd given her $250, half of her rent, and then kind of find out how much, she's pretty high maintenance. She purchased this car right before I'd met her that was, pretty expensive. And she went down to my parents' house and got all dramatical about how she couldn't make her car payment. So my dad, out of the kindness of his heart, wrote her a check for another $200 for her that she cashed for
Just
her
a
car
second.
payment.
So to make a long story short, you realized that you hadn't worked out enough of the details before
Right,
you moved in.
exactly.
And that it wasn't a good idea. So you left.
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You knew him for approximately 9 weeks. 4 weeks before he moved in, 3.5 or so glorious weeks while you were living together. Not exactly a commitment of a lifetime.
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. John Kinsman wants his belongings back from former lover, Michelle Brewer.
What items did you leave when you left, sir?
I left a 19-inch TV. I left a 4-head VCR, a computer. I left some clothes, and then my W-2 forms, which she refused to give me, that I needed to, file my income tax.
Okay. And you still have those things, according to your answer. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, you tell me how much money you think he owes you.
Well, all I'm asking for is the $300 that he still owes me.
Well, tell me what the money is for.
Well, because everywhere we went, everything we did, I paid for everything, and he said that he was waiting for a check to come in, and that he would reimburse me, and he never.
Like what?
He never got a check, and he never reimbursed me for anything.
Ms. Brewer, tell me exactly what it is that he owes you the money for.
For groceries, for the electric bill, the rent.
Just a second. What was your financial arrangement when he moved in?
That he would pay for half of everything.
Is that what you agreed to?
Yeah, and I did. I gave her $250.
He gave me $200 after I finally pleaded with him and told him
He
that
gave you $200 or $250?
He gave me $200.
I gave you $250 cash.
Well, he's lying.
He lived there 3 weeks, correct?
He lived there at least 4 weeks.
Did you live there for a month, sir?
No, 3 weeks.
When did you move in?
I moved in, let's see, about the second week of March, and I was out of there by the end of March.
You were out by April 1st?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt in saying that he gave you $200 and that he lived there for 3 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
You have receipts for groceries and all of the other items?
Every time we went out.
Let me see.
And that's not even all the receipts.
Well, this is all I'm going to consider.
I understand that.
You have no children, is that right?
Right.
You didn't move out by April 1st, sir. Unless this lady likes to watch Three Ninjas Kickback and Free Willy 3. She's got videotape rentals here for April 3rd of 98.
Well, I was out, but we stayed, my kids and I stayed the night. We had a fight before that. We stayed one night.
And the night that you stayed, on 4th-3, she also went food shopping.
Not with me.
For you and your kids.
Sure, just a second.
And me.
Now, other than the $200 that you gave her, sir, did you give her any other money? You went out for dinner, you went out for a bite to eat?
Oh, yeah, I wined her and dined her
Well,
the
tell me about it.
first couple of weeks.
Tell me about it.
If I would have known I needed to save the receipts, I would have. But we went to the Admiral Pub that's in our area a couple times.
And who paid?
I paid.
Did he pay?
No, he did not.
Yes,
Well,
I sure did.
Just a second. Did he ever pay?
The only time he ever paid was the first night that we went out. We went to a restaurant. We got dinner. My dinner was burnt, so he didn't even have to pay for my dinner, and he paid for a drink that I drank. That's all he paid for. He gave me a little plastic rose one time from the dollar store.
Well, he's certainly no Prince Charming then, according to you, madam. He certainly didn't wine you and dine you, so what'd you invite him into your house for?
Because he was sweeping me off my feet.
Just a second. Explain to me how somebody sweeps you off your feet when you pay every time you go out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
Miss Brewer, you knew him for approximately 9 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
4 weeks before he moved in, 3.5 or so glorious weeks while you were living together. Not exactly a commitment of a lifetime, right?
Right.
So, it seems to me that you should feel like a very lucky person that in a relatively short period of time, 3.5 weeks, before you had invested thousands upon thousands of dollars in someone who was, according to you, untruthful, dishonest, right?
Yes.
Untrustworthy.
Yes.
Before you invested a lifetime and thousands of dollars in him, you figured it out and put him out. I mean, what you should be doing is put a period and saying, oh, I want him out of my life.
That's what I did.
And well, it's not what you did because you kept this property. Where do you live?
Seattle.
Okay. Assuming that I believe you that you got $200 from him, did you get another $200 from his father?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so that makes, according to you, that makes $400 altogether. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will draft an order that within 5 days you are to have all of his property ready towards the front door. You will go there, escorted by a police officer, sir, to pick up your property. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Let us assume that the rent is $510, $205 is attributed to you. You cannot prove to me, sir, that during that period of a month, correct, that you spent a farthing of your own money, right?
Yeah, correct.
Food, entertainment, video games for your kids,
right,
or anything else.
Right.
So let us assume that all comes to approximately $75 a week times 4 is another $300, right? That's $505, of which, madam, you have received $400. So on your counterclaim, I am awarding you $105. Do you understand? Good. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
And he's got a lot of people that have felt sorry for him, and I'm sure that have given him a lot of money, and you know, it's just sad that people do that.
Good luck to the next guy. She's a gold digger. It's obvious.
I was a mediator.
If you were a mediator, then you would have nudged him. You don't have to tell him. Nudge him and say, stop being an idiot.
He kept using his old girlfriend's credit card.
Take the credit card, cut it up. I don't want to use her credit card. I don't want to use her sheets, and I don't want to use her credit card. Does that sound right to you?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
All parties on Wright versus Dilly Bennett. Step forward, please.
35-year-old computer coordinator Diana Wright says her ex-boyfriend, lighting director Robert Dilly, 37, and his new girlfriend, 27-year-old Sherry Bennett, used her calling card and gave her a bad check. Sherry is countersuing for defamation of character and bank fraud.
All rise. This is case number 549 on the calendar in the matter of Wright versus Dilly Bennett. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Miss Wright,
Yes.
the defendant, Mr. Dilly,
Yes?
is your former boyfriend.
Correct.
And the co-defendant is his current girlfriend.
Correct.
According to your complaint, when you moved out of Mr. Dilly's home, you left behind a long-distance credit card. And that credit card was used by the co-defendant.
I don't know exactly who used the card. I know that it was used
while it was in their home.
Correct.
Now, you seem not to deny that you did, in fact, use the card. Is that right?
That's right.
Correct.
Why did you use her card?
For 3 months before Miss Wright moved out, I paid all of her bills.
That's not right.
Shh, just a second.
So that she was able to save her money and move out. I paid off the Finger Hut, her Finger Hut account, which the card was on. And she said, well, since you paid off Finger Hut, you could have the stuff. So this phone card was one of the things that she said, here, you can just keep the phone card. The phone number is already on it. And I was getting the bill for quite a long time.
Mr. Dilly, be very careful. You paid her bills, according to you, while she was there so that she could save her money to move out. But you did not have an agreement with her that in exchange for that, she would give you carte blanche on this phone credit card.
Oh, no, she said...
no.
She said, you might as well keep the phone card because it's no good to me because it has our phone number on it. So, I mean, I was getting the bill at my house with her name on it, and I was paying it.
But then there came a time when either the bill got sent to her house, so this is clearly your bill.
Clearly, yes.
All right. And the bill was for $290?
$290.48.
Now, I want to tell you something. I'm going to give you exactly 10 seconds to explain to me why you're suing them for $4,920, $4,629.52 for aggravation.
Quite frankly, I never expected to get that money. It was
Good.
simply to get their attention.
Well, it may have gotten their attention. It got me irritated, so we're striking out the aggravation part. $290.48. So you owe her that.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's an easy. Now, I have a cross complaint here for defamation that was filed by you.
Yes.
You want $5,000 for defamation of character.
It was $1,500. It was changed to $1,500. It was supposed
Just
to be
a time of
$1,500.
lost work.
Aggravation and
Trying to collect all the information.
Everybody's got aggravation.
I understand.
You say that she illegally transferred funds from my bank account and has impersonated me to WorldCom to get them to do so. She calls you and lets you know she's got this bill. She wants the money. She says, make the check payable to WorldCom. They sent you a check in an envelope made out to WorldCom.
Correct.
Why didn't you send it in?
I was concerned that I had received a check since I'd asked for a money order. I know that Bob and I have had problems in the past over our relationship. So I called WorldCom and I wanted to know, I said, I don't have a good feeling about this check. I said, I want to make sure that it gets sent in as quickly as possible. I said, what is the quickest way for me to get this check to you and to get it cleared? And she said that we could do an electronic withdrawal. So she took down the information. She said, what you're going to have to do is to make sure that the credit union has the money in the account. As soon as they do, call me. I'll have the money transferred. This was on September 28th, which is when the check is written. I called the 28th, 29th, 30th, the 1st, and the 2nd. The 2nd was when the check was good.
Okay. So for 4 days, there were not funds available. On the 5th day, there were, and you had them, did you have them make the transfer?
I called WorldCom and asked them, I gave them the details, which I wrote on the back of the check. She told me to write void on the face of the check, which I did, and that the funds would then be transferred. She actually said it would take a few days. So when I got another bill from WorldCom saying that there had been a stop payment on the check, I said, when was the stop payment? Because I said, on the 2nd, you took down the information and said you would do the transfer.
And when was the stop payment?
On the 7th.
On the 7th? Why?
Because she would not mail the check. And she told Bob when she was talking to you on the phone that she was going to hold the check for evidence.
I said, in case there was a problem, I said, I wanted proof that you guys had written a check.
But the agreement was that she would put the check in the mail.
So
we have a memo from her stating to let things take its natural course.
And that she was sending in the WorldCom.
That she remitted. We sent her a fax stating that if the check wasn't, in fact, received by WorldCom and cashed within X amount of days, we would put a stop payment on it. We gave her a check addressed in an envelope, ready to go. All she had to do was mail it and let things take its natural course.
All right, just a minute.
As she states
Which it would have if you
Stop talking, I can't hear you if I'm reading something.
Sorry.
Mr. Dilly, let me tell you what your first mistake was. Your first mistake was to use a credit card that was not yours. You used her credit card. Either you or you and Miss Bennett.
I felt that I had her permission.
No. You don't use somebody's credit card because it's not a smart thing to do. Get your own credit card. Then you don't have this problem. Meanwhile, you're using her credit card. You're not together anymore. You don't see each other. You're not friends, right? Why do you think that it's a smart thing to use her credit card? Get your own.
Absolutely.
So
It was a mistake.
you have to understand something. It's a little irritating when somebody thinks about the new girlfriend using her credit card. I mean, if you just think about it, it's tacky. So you should have gotten your own. Meanwhile, you owe her $290. You paid her the $290. She wanted to ensure that there was money in the bank to cover this check. Now, should she have called up and said she was you, which she probably had to?
I didn't, no. That's not required. I called and simply asked, I said, I have a check, and I want to know if the funds are available, period.
WorldCom will tell you different.
Okay, well, WorldCom isn't here.
And WorldCom's not your bank.
Shh, just a second. WorldCom isn't here. In any event, should she have done it? Maybe, maybe not, but she had. I mean, this was her debt after all, and it's on her credit report if it's not paid, and it would be on her credit report if she submitted that check. And let us assume that check got in on a day when you had insufficient funds in the bank. Let's assume that the mail did in fact get there in one day rather than taking 3 or 4 days as it usually takes. So it may have caused an embarrassment. Whatever it was, this is not a major deal.
She's talking over a weekend.
Listen to me. This is not a major deal, people. I don't know why it should have been a major deal. Should have given her $290 in cash, gotten a receipt, say, I paid the bill, here's your credit card, it's cut up, we'll never use it again. We are now separate, and that's it. Instead, this whole intrigue, because you left the credit card, right? That's stupid.
Absolutely.
And you used the credit card.
I did not use the credit card.
Fine. He used the credit card.
Thank you.
You used the credit card.
I was a mediator trying, because she would call up and harass him.
Just a second. If you were a mediator, then you would have nudged him. You don't have to tell him. Nudge him and say, stop being an idiot. Take the credit card, cut it up. I don't want to use her credit card. I don't want to use her sheets, and I don't want to use her credit card.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What difference does it make? The main thing is you sent her $290, whether she took it out electronically or she took it out in wampum or she took it out in yen. What difference does it make to you?
And later today.
She's still driving the car?
Yeah.
No.
She'd be doing a lot of bicycling or walking if she were my daughter.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Diana Wright is suing her ex-boyfriend, Robert Dilley, and his new girlfriend, Sherry Bennett, for using her calling card. They are countersuing Diana for impersonating Sherry at her bank.
So, and your aggravation, your stress, your defamation, and everything else is a lot of nonsense.
No.
We have a statement here from Westcom.
Wait a minute. This check was not authorized by me to do over the phone. I got nothing in the mail.
Let me ask you a question, madam. What's the difference if she does it by electronically or if she does it by mailing it in?
It wasn't made out to her.
Sure,
it wasn't.
Just a second. What difference does it make? It's getting the bill paid that's in her name. Let's listen to me. You know, you can spend your life getting involved in minutiae that has very little to do with a WorldCom bill and has much more to do with being irritated by her presence. But what difference does it make? The main thing is you sent her $290, whether she took it out electronically or she took it out in wampum or she took it out in yen. What difference does it make to you? It shouldn't make any difference. I mean, I assume you have other things in your life to machinate over. This should be nothing that you machinate over.
Exactly, I agree.
Very good. So pay the $290, say goodbye to each other, and that's it. $290.48. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Thank you. You may step out.
Thank you.
I thought it was silly it had to come to this. It seemed pretty straightforward in the beginning and was pretty friendly. And when Sherry wanted to get involved, then things seemed to get ugly. So I'm just glad it's over.
I hold no ill wills, and I just let live. We're ready to move on with my life.
And now the next case.
All parties on Grody versus Brisby. Step forward, please.
17-year-old Jennifer Cavish and her stepfather, 38-year-old John Grody, claim 19-year-old student Danny Brisby crashed their car while playing chicken.
Miss Brody?
Kavash.
Kavash?
Yeah.
Is this your father?
Stepfather.
Was it his car that you were driving that day?
Yes.
What kind of car was it?
A 91 Honda Accord.
And you let your stepdaughter drive the car?
Yes.
Now, what I gather from these rather convoluted papers, you were driving with a friend of yours, another girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to a place where a bunch of kids were sort of hanging out. Is that right?
Yes.
You and your girlfriend got out of the car,
Yes.
but you left the keys in the car.
Right.
Why didn't you put them in your pocket?
Because I was leaning right up against the car, and I was leaving in just a few minutes anyways. I didn't think anybody was going to take my car.
But you were there, is that right?
Yes.
And you saw the car keys in the seat, you hopped in the car, is that right?
Yes.
Why did you do such a stupid thing?
Well, I was leaning against the car. I was leaning right next to the driver's side door.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed the keys were on the seat, and I got in to start the car just to mess around with the engine, hear what it sounded like. I had no intention of driving the car when I first got in it.
You just got in to mess around.
Yes.
Now, there was an accident with this car for which you want to be compensated. Is that
Yes.
right? And the accident happened while you were driving the car.
Yes.
So why don't you tell me, Daniel, how, since you had no intention of driving this car but just messing around with it and seeing how the motor sounded when it got turned on, why don't you tell me how the accident happened?
I didn't actually turn the car on until she was in the car with her seatbelt on.
Just a second. So you're in the car, in the driver's seat, and then Jennifer got in the car?
Mm-hmm.
What did she say when she got in the car?
When she got in the car, she didn't say anything.
That's not what you say in your answer, Daniel. You better think again. What did she say to you when she got into the car?
When she got into the car, she didn't say anything. Once I started driving, she said, "I can't believe I'm letting you drive my car."
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, this accident was November 13th. This picture was taken December 28th, the day after the second accident. What, are you kidding me?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jennifer Cavish and her stepfather, John Grody, claim Danny Brisby crashed their car while playing a game of chicken.
I'm going to read to you what you wrote, Daniel. After a moment, I noticed the keys on the seat. I then, not knowing the stupidity of the action, took it upon myself to get into the car. I sat myself in the driver's seat. Jennifer ran to the passenger side and jumped in. She said, "Danny, no, no, no." Once she was in the car with her seatbelt fastened, I started the car.
That was miswording on my part.
It wasn't miswording. That's what you signed, Daniel. All right. So she said, "No, no, no." And you did what?
I started the car and drove.
Okay. And you got into an accident.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And there was damage to the car.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me why you don't think you're responsible for the damage?
Because I did not cause the accident.
You caused the accident because you were driving the car. If you weren't driving the car wouldn't have been in an accident. So whether the accident was your fault at the time of the collision or some other driver's fault, if he's not being compensated by the other driver, somebody's got to pay.
Why didn't the insurances pay?
Why? I don't know. Did the insurance pay for the damage?
The half of the damage, yes. He agreed to pay. Both kids agreed that it was a 50-50 on their part, that they were both at fault.
You mean both kids that were involved in the accident?
Correct.
How much damage was done to your car? Let me see the paperwork and while you pull it out.
Just give it all.
Is this your father?
Yes.
Would you like to step up with him? Oh, that's a lot of damage on the car. How much did it cost to repair the car? Because I have several estimates.
Yeah, well, after that, there was another accident, and it cost, well, we had to pay the deductible of $500.
Oh, well, just a second here. This is going to make it very complicated. You mean after this accident, you didn't have the car fixed?
No.
Then she was in another accident?
Yes.
How much later was she in another accident?
It was December 27th.
And when was this accident?
That one was November 13th.
She's still driving the car?
Yeah.
Now, yes.
You're a very nice stepfather. She'd be doing a lot of bicycling or walking if she were my daughter. Now, this accident was November 13th. This picture was taken December 28th, the day after the second accident.
Right.
What, are you kidding me? I want to see a picture of the damage to the car in a photograph taken right after this accident.
That is the damage that was done on the November accident.
We never took any pictures prior to that.
Well, this one is useless to me because it's 6 weeks after the incident, that photograph.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
You have a $500 deductible on your insurance?
Yes.
Okay. So whatever it is here, whatever these bills are, what this damage will cost you out of your out-of-pocket is $500. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, did you or the insurance company go after this other boy?
Yes.
Did he pay you any money?
The insurance company did, yes.
How much?
What? The half of it, $700. Because it was $1,400 was the estimate, I believe.
So the other boy paid $700 directly to the insurance company.
Right.
Is that right?
No, they paid it to us.
And what did you do with it?
We put that in the bank, and we will pay that back if you award us this money. We'll gladly pay that other insurance company back that money to prove the point that somebody just can't get in your car and take it.
Just a minute. So if I award you your $500 deductible from him, which I would ordinarily do like that because you were wrong. You agree with that, right?
I agree. He's responsible for his actions.
Good. Like that. I certainly don't intend to award you money so that you have an additional $700. Especially when I think a little piece of it was your stepdaughter's fault. A, in leaving the keys in the car. B, in letting somebody else drive the car. That coupled with the fact she was in another accident 6 weeks later. So she bears certain responsibility. But my problem is you're not supposed to come out ahead. Now, the other people gave you $700.
Correct.
And you intend to remit that $700 to the insurance company?
Yes.
Okay. What's the name of your insurance company?
Farmers?
Farmers?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is a very easy case. I'm giving you a judgment, sir, for $500. The court is holding it upon your providing satisfactory proof by a canceled check for $700 made out to Farmers Insurance Company. And then we will release his $500. Got it?
Got it.
Perfect. Thank you.
While you're excused, you may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Back to your right.
And on the next Judge Judy.
If you give him back all of the videos, which I think is the dumbest thing you can do.
Worst friend's wedding video.
I don't have a witness here.
You could call him.
I don't call people.
Judge Judy Justice.
I'm just glad that he finally realizes he was wrong and it was his fault. He caused the accident, and I'm glad we got awarded the money.
I did not cause the accident, and I did start the car after I felt I had permission to drive the car.
He says, do I need to bring in some Q-tips so you can clean out your ears?
Not nice.
His boss was rude.
I was like, Danny, can I have my check? And he goes, are you on crack? I mean, he tried to make me look like a fool all the time.
Pay attention.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, I'm going to tell you to get the Q-tips.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheinlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
Our party's on Anderson versus Shilson. Step forward, please.
21-year-old sales rep Dale Anderson claims his former boss, 32-year-old fundraiser Daniel Shilson, assaulted him after he complained about his bounced paycheck. Daniel claims Dale went berserk and Dale struck him.
Order, all rise. Your Honor, this is case number 565 on the calendar in the matter of Anderson versus Shilson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ah, Mr. Anderson.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant is your former employer.
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
exactly understand what you're suing him for. There's something about an assault in here, and a whole bunch of other things that I quite frankly don't understand. So you're going to tell me what kind of work you did for him,
It was a telemarketing business.
and you allege that he treated you badly,
Very bad, Your Honor.
and then he assaulted you when you got a bounced paycheck. So let's start at the beginning. How long did you work there?
I would say probably 2.5 to 3 months, Your Honor.
And you actually quit. Oh, well, you didn't even quit. You just left.
Yes, ma'am. What happened was one day at the beginning of a shift, I asked Mr. Shilson, I don't remember the exact question. I asked him a question about the concerts we were having. And he replied to me very rudely, do I need to bring in some Q-tips so you can clean out your ears? I think that's very disrespectful, and it was in front of all my coworkers.
And then did you continue working there?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I figure anybody can have a bad day. I mean,
All right, so you continued working there, and then what happened?
about a couple weeks later, we weren't supposed to get our checks till 4 p.m. on Fridays. But Mr. Shilson had given me my check on Thursdays before and earlier on Fridays. I came to get in, normal day, I walked through the door. I didn't work on Fridays. I came to the door, knocked on his office. I was like, Danny, can I have my check? And he goes, are you on crack? And then from there, I continued to work. And next thing, probably about a couple weeks later, we worked from noon to 9. That was the shift we worked. About 8:50 o'clock approximately, Danny says, Dale, I need you to stay 10 minutes late. And I couldn't stay late. I already had prior engagements. I said, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And he became very irate, very angry. So 9 o'clock comes by, and we turn in all our paperwork, like cards of who we had called and such. And I turn them into him, and he goes, Dale, I saw you put a brown container of paper clips in your book bag. And he's like, why don't you bring your book bag over here? So I followed. I went and got my book bag, opened it up.
Okay, so he had you empty your book bag and there was nothing in there?
No, there was pens and magazines and such,
Okay.
but no paper clips.
Okay.
And I said, this is totally crap, Dan. How can you do this to me? I'm out of here. And I walked out.
And you didn't go back to work?
No, ma'am. I felt I shouldn't have to be treated like that in order to work.
All right. And then you got a paycheck?
Yes, ma'am. I had cashed it. It was only for one day. It was for $50-some. And I got a call saying, Dale, you need to come get this check. It came back insufficient funds. We either need the money or a new check.
Okay, so had you ever had any trouble with a paycheck before in the
No,
months
ma'am, I
that
had
you had
not.
been working there?
No.
You had not. And this was after you did not return to work?
Yes.
So what did you do?
I went in, the secretary said, Dan's in his office. They went and asked him if I could come in. I came in and he says, what do you need? And I said, well, what's up with this? And I show him the check. Tell him run it through again. And you could see it was already crinkled and stamped, insufficient funds, serial numbers were all over it. They had already tried running it through an amount of times. So what I did, I said, I need a new check or the money today. He goes, I can't do that. And it was wrong, Your Honor, I know, but I swore. I said, Danny, well, it's your up, fix it. And he stands up and he goes, you get out of my office, and began to shove me. I mean, as you can see, he's a pretty big guy.
How did he shove you?
He just kept shoving me, and I hit the walls a couple times, hit one of the doors. I banged my elbow up, and I kept saying, get off me. And whenever I'd turn around, he'd just drop back like he was going to.
You weren't physically injured, is that right?
No, ma'am. I had a bruise on my elbow. But
Okay, but you weren't seriously physically injured?
No, but I do feel he damaged my reputation with my coworkers very much.
Well, that's something that you would have to prove, sir, by having coworkers here to say that your reputation was damaged. A just as probable scenario is that the coworkers, if what you say is true,
Yes,
that your coworkers know he's a jerk, right? And that you're reputation wasn't damaged, but it just solidified the fact that he was a real jerk. But there's no, I mean, you have causes of action here, bad mouthing, right?
Yes.
Demeaning of character. There's no such lawsuit. There's no such lawsuit. There's no such cause of action. Bad mouthing is not a cause of action. And certainly you weren't terminated, wrongfully terminated from your job because you left voluntarily.
Yes, my shift was over, so.
You left because you were not happy working for somebody who was treating you badly, who accused you of being a thief.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you go. Now that's something different. You know, telling you to get Q-tips is just stupid.
Yes.
Now you want to tell me, Mr. Shilson, about this incident?
In our employee handbook, it says point blank that we reserve the right to search personal property if we think there's any type of foul play. We have a lot of valuable...
Did you ever get that handbook?
Yes, ma'am.
And does it say that in the handbook?
I do not remember, ma'am.
Show me the handbook.
I didn't bring it with me.
Well, that's a very important thing.
Right. I apologize for that. I should have brought it.
Absolutely.
When one of my shift leaders comes up to me and says, Dan, I'm not sure, but I think that Dale just put some of the clerical supplies into his bag.
I'm not listening to what somebody else told you, sir, because that's a witness that I would have to be here to cross-examine. So don't tell me what anybody said, because I don't believe that anybody said that to you. Because they're not here.
Sure.
So you just told him to bring his bag.
I asked him politely if I could, if he had anything in his bag that wasn't his. He said no. I said, could you open the bag? I personally didn't go dig through the bag. I just asked him to, you know, it was a simple thing. And the thing is...
Was anybody else there when you asked him to open the bag?
We were in checkout process, getting everybody out the door. I believe there were some employees in the room.
So there were other people... What do you mean no? You're telling me there were no... Shh! You're telling me there was nobody else there?
I was the only one checking out. Everyone else could work past 9 that night. So everybody was
so listen to me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You're so anxious to find him wrong. He says there were other people there. If there were other people there when he accused you of being a thief and made you open your bag, that would have been good for you. But you say you were the only one there, so nobody else heard it.
No, the room was full, ma'am. Everybody else was sitting at their desk. I was the only one checking out because I could not stay.
So there were other people there?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
It was
I
full.
didn't understand
The
it. Thank you,
office
Bert.
was full. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bert. So you agree with him that there were other people there?
Yes.
So what are you shaking your head no for?
No, I was saying nobody else was checking out, ma'am. I was the only one checking out.
I didn't ask checking out. I said there. Pay
Yes,
attention. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you to get the Q-tips.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Why didn't you pick up the phone and call the police from your office? Why did you have to push him out of the way to get to your secretary? Don't you know how to call 911?
Yes, I do. Usually my secretary does that.
And later today...
Listen, this is not the Scopes trial. I have other important business today. I want to see proof that you paid him November's rent before you moved out.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Dale Anderson claims his former boss, Daniel Shilson, assaulted him and falsely accused him of stealing. Daniel says he was following proper procedure by searching him.
So you had him empty his bag in front of people and there wasn't anything in the bag?
I didn't have him empty the bag. I only had him open the top of it, and I was being very discreet about it, too, and polite, of course. I didn't see anything in there. I did not see anything in there that was not his. So I apologize for the inconvenience and told him I'm just trying to do my job, look out for the office.
Why did you give him a bad check?
Well, we have a company that handles our payroll.
You know, you got a good answer for everything. You gave him a bad check. You gave him a bad check, the only bad check he's ever gotten since he's worked for you, and it happened to be for one day after he quit, after you knew he wasn't coming back.
I had nothing.
Doesn't that sound strange to you? Doesn't that sound to you that it doesn't make sense?
There were other employees whose check bounced. The company that handles our payroll is supposed to take out money out of our account automatically to cover the payroll checks. They did not do that. I even called...
You have an operating account in your office?
I have no money on the premises or checks.
Oh, you know something? You got an answer for everything. You are absolutely in the right business. Mr. Shilson, you had no reason to put your hands on him. And you did put your hands on him, didn't you?
Yes, I did. After he was acting aggressive, waving his arms around,
swearing
at me.
Then you call the police and you have him removed from your premises. You don't put your hands on him.
Actually, I was on my way to have my secretary call the police for me. I had two women in the room next to it. And Dale was blocking the entryway. That's why I pushed him out of the way to begin with. He wouldn't even let me get out of the entryway to get to the phone.
And you don't have a phone in your office?
Yes, I do.
You don't have a phone in your office. It wasn't working that day.
No, I had a phone in my office, actually. Yeah. I also had the door of my office open.
So why didn't you?
For the room to,
why didn't you pick up the phone and call the police from your office? Why did you have to push him out of the way to get to your secretary? Don't you know how to call 911?
Yes, I do. Usually my secretary does that.
Yeah. Shh. All right. Mr. Schultzen, while I would usually quiet this group because I think it's inappropriate that they laugh, I want you to understand that even these people find this story that you're telling ludicrous. Clearly, I get the sense that either you are oppressive to work for or you just didn't like him particularly. You're supposed to be a boss, and with a boss comes along certain responsibility to treat people respectfully. You know, I mean, you have a captive audience. Clearly, you have people who have to have that job because certainly nobody wakes up when they're 18 years old and says, I want to be a telemarketer and sit on phones all day as my life's work. So they're working for you because they have to work. And my sense is, Mr. Schultzen, that you take advantage of that. You had no reason to put your hands on him. Putting your hands on him is going to cost you $500, and his paycheck is going to cost you $50. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $550. That's all.
Parties are excused.
Thank you.
Step out.
Again, the comment about the Q-tips, the reason I said that was repeatedly, at least 10 times. I had to make the same point over and over and over again. And that's just not acceptable. In a real job anywhere else, they wouldn't tolerate that.
No hard feelings. I just don't think you should treat people like that. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
And now the next case.
All parties on Hammond versus Jennings. Step forward, please.
23-year-old waiter Jerry Hammond claims former roommate, 19-year-old waitress Jennifer Jennings, damaged their apartment and moved out without paying rent. Jennifer says she paid.
Mr. Hammond, according to your complaint, you became a roommate of the defendant's.
Yes, ma'am.
Or she became a roommate of yours.
Right.
And that didn't work out. She moved out, owing you a month's rent. How much was the rent?
$250.
And she also damaged some property.
Correct.
How many months did she live there?
She lived there from August through December 1st.
And what month did she miss?
She missed November's.
What was the damage to the property?
Damage to the property were some of the nails in her room, some of the cleaning up in the bathroom, and some of the damage to the carpet. She burned the hole in the carpet, or one of her friends did.
All right, let's start with the bathroom. You clean the bathroom, no big deal. A couple of nails in the walls, you take them out, right?
Right.
All right, so that's not a big deal. It's certainly not worth $150. What about the hole in the carpet? How do you know she did that?
I wasn't home, and she had people over, so we're the only ones that had the key to the apartment, so one of us had it.
So you don't know how it happened?
No.
Okay, did you have it repaired?
No, not yet. I have not moved out yet, so.
So you don't know how much it will cost to have it repaired?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're talking about $250 worth of rent?
Yes, Your Honor, and a damaged speaker and a damaged water filter as well.
Well, you didn't tell me about the speaker and the water filter. What damaged speaker?
She blew, either she did or her friends blew one of my speakers out, and I had to get the subwoofer repaired. And I also had to repair and replace the water filter.
Why?
Because she was doing dishes or something and turned the hot water on and it blew the filter.
Well, that can happen.
It happens.
That happens. We're talking about $250 worth of rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. Now, your defense is you paid the rent.
Yes, I paid a deposit when I first moved in.
You say you paid the rent by check.
Right.
So show me your November check.
When I first moved in, I paid in check for my rent, and I told him I could not pay the rest of my deposit because I was not financially stable at that time. And he was perfectly okay with that. He understood. And
Just a minute. Did you pay November's rent or didn't you pay November's rent?
Yes, I did.
Show me.
I paid him in cash, and it's my fault that I did not get any receipts or anything like that from him.
No, now you're lying to me because you said to me in your answer that you always paid by check.
I didn't
You
hear
said
that.
that's what your answer says. You said I pay by check. So you gave me 3 different stories, Miss Jennings, in the very short time you were here. First, you started to tell me that, well, you gave him a deposit, which I assume you meant a security deposit, which you wanted him to use as your last month's rent.
Right.
That's the first story you started to tell me, right? And then you said, well, you couldn't give him the whole thing because you weren't financially stable at that time. So you only gave him a part of the security deposit?
In check, and the rest was in cash.
Why would you give him part in check and part in cash?
Because I cleared out my checking account with my check, and I had to get another job.
I just wanted this, and this is not the Scopes trial. I have other important business today. I want to see proof that you paid him November's rent before you moved out.
I don't have proof. All I have is that I paid for him in cash, and...
Did she ever pay you November's rent?
No, she did not.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So why would you sue her twice for the same rent?
Because she did not.
Are you following me?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, am I missing something?
Closed captioning sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Jerry Hammond is suing former roommate Jennifer Jennings for rent and destruction of property.
What happened with November? Is that why she moved out?
No, I gave her a letter in October asking her to move out right after Thanksgiving. She waited until December 1st to move out. And
Why were you asking her to move?
she did not pay me the bills before, and then she didn't pay the rent that month in November.
What bills?
Just common utilities, electricity, phone, satellite.
So
And
she was supposed to pay rent plus utilities?
Right, that was...
And she hadn't paid the utilities?
We already took care of that.
You took care of the utilities, so she doesn't owe you utilities anymore, but at the
Right.
time she did owe you utilities. Is that why you asked her to move?
Yes, Your Honor. And then she, after I gave her the letter, she decided not to pay November's rent. Said, I don't have to pay that. You know, I'm not on the lease, and I'm not paying, so.
Did she give you a security deposit when she moved in?
She did a couple months after she moved in.
And what was the security deposit that she gave you?
$250.
Where is that?
That is, I used it to pay bills, Your Honor.
What bills?
The bills while we were both living there. I used that to help pay the bills.
No. Just a second. What bills? Are you talking about utility bills?
Everything from rent to utilities. That's what.
No, I don't understand. Mr. Hammond, if she gave you the $250 for security deposit, that's supposed to be, she's supposed to get that money back when she moves out.
Right.
Did you have an agreement with her to use that money for something else?
I used it for rent because she did not pay November's rent, Your Honor.
Well, but that's why you're here for November's rent.
Yes, Your Honor. And the damages. She decided not, because she was moving out, I don't have to pay the bills, and I'm not paying for the damages. I was like...
I want you to forget damages.
Okay, Your Honor.
Forget damages. If you had $250 that she gave you in a security deposit, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you use that to pay November's rent?
I had to, because she did not pay November's rent.
Well, then you're not going to get her rent twice for November.
No, Your Honor.
So what are you doing here?
The damages.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
Ms. Jennings, you have my apology. You did, in fact, according to him, give him $250 as a security deposit.
Yes, I did.
Right? I have no idea what he's doing here. His lawsuit says he's suing you for $398.05, which includes a month's rent, which he already got, because you used that from the security deposit, right? Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why would you sue her twice for the same rent?
Because she did not...
Are you following me?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, am I missing something?
No.
What kind of work do you do?
I wait tables.
I suggest you go back to work. Your lawsuit's dismissed. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It was just friendship, and that was it. There was nothing more than that.
He just made himself look really, really incredibly stupid.
Looks like I'm an idiot, but, you know, I mean, sometimes things go in your way, sometimes things don't, you know.
Your Honor, The only thing I took out of her house myself was a crack pipe.
I've had a history, Your Honor, and nothing that I'm proud of.
Bottomed out.
Were any of your children born with drugs in their system?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Not one.
Okay, that's a plus.
And I've paid my debt to society, and now I'm trying to move on with my life.
Good.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheinlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
All parties on Costin versus Watson. Step forward, please.
36-year-old bus driver Evelyn Costin claims special ed teacher Anita Watson took her property while she was in jail.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 617 on the calendar in the matter of Costin versus Watson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Costin, the defendant is the sister of one of your children's fathers. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were not married to her brother?
No.
How many children do you have?
One. I have three, but one is related to this
Well, that's what
family.
I'm asking. You have 3 children.
Right.
But you're the aunt of only one. Is that the youngest child?
The oldest child.
The oldest child. According to your complaint, you were incarcerated.
Yes.
And you claim that while you were incarcerated, the defendant took things from your home.
Yes, Your Honor.
She said she was nothing but nice to you. As a matter of fact, she has custody of one of the children. Is that right?
Yes, I do. I'm
Is
a
that
legal guardian for her son.
Did you get custody of that child when she went to jail?
While she was in jail.
While she was in jail. All right, now what makes you think she took property out of your house?
We came into a verbal agreement that she would step in and take care of my personal possessions and take care of things for me while I was away, and when I would come home, that I would have something to come home to.
When did you contact her?
I contacted her, this was probably around about November of 1996.
You were in jail at the time?
Yes, I was.
How long were you in jail?
Until October of 1998, Your Honor.
And did you have an apartment?
Yes, ma'am. I had a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, fully furnished apartment with a double-car garage that also contained several personal property items.
Was it a rental?
Yes, it was, Your Honor.
Who was paying the rent?
I had a friend that was in need of a place to stay. The defendant was opposed to that. She suggested her sister, Teray, move into my apartment. Teray and her boyfriend moved into my apartment.
Did the landlord approve of somebody else living in the apartment?
My landlord did not know anything about this until later on.
How long did these other people live in your apartment?
Probably about maybe 4 or 5 months until my landlord did find out about it.
And then they threw everybody out?
Well, yes, he wanted them to move out of the apartment. At this time, Miss Watson said that she would take care of my items, that she would make sure everything was moved out of my apartment, which via phone conversation, she did state over the phone that she had moved all my stuff out of the apartment. I have letters from Miss Watson that she wrote to me during my incarceration, Your Honor.
Can you see them?
She also stated items she sent to me while I was incarcerated. These items were in my personal file cabinet, which was in my house. I also have pictures of items that came out of my house. I also have a list of my items that came out of my apartment. There is also listed an IBM Aptiva computer that was in pawn. Ms. Watson had possession of these because while in my incarceration, I released my purse to Ms. Watson, which contained my house keys, my wallet with all my identification, credit cards, what have you. That's how Ms. Watson was able to obtain my computer, my wedding ring, my mother's ring. She redeemed those items from the pawn shop. These receipts were in my wallet that was released to Ms. Watson. I also have letters where I had to contact my financial institution to put a block on my account. I have statements from there that shows Ms. Watson wrote several checks off of my account, which my checkbook was also in my personal property.
Well, first show me proof that she took things out of the pawn shop for you.
Yes, ma'am, they're right here.
Did you take things out of the pawn shop for her?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
What did you do with them?
I gave them to her daughter.
Which daughter?
The oldest daughter. That's what she asked me to do.
Did you speak to your daughter?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. I have also questioned my daughter. She and asked my daughter, did she get any of my items? This Miss Watson never mentioned anything about she giving any of my items to my daughter. I've never asked her to give anything to my daughter whatsoever.
Let me see what else.
These are copies that I have my financial institution sent to me of checks Miss Watson wrote from my account. There's a list of items that came out of my apartment.
Just a second. Just a second. Did you ever draw checks out of her account?
I didn't, but I'm aware that it was done in order to pay the landlord.
Did you pay the landlord?
Yes, he did get paid.
How much was the rent on your apartment?
Your Honor, I believe at that time it was only maybe about $125, $130, $35.
I have 3 checks. 2 of them are for $650 and 1 of them is for $600. Who are you?
I'm the witness. I was staying in the house. Me and my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so she was on Section 8. So the landlord came out and I signed the Section 8 for her, and I told the Section 8 people that she was incarcerated or whatever, you know. The Section 8 people, they stopped the Section 8 because they wanted to see her. So at that time, the landlord was asking for the regular rent because the Section 8 wasn't paying for the voucher. I took
That's $650. That's not her problem. Why should she pay for your rent?
She wasn't paying for my rent.
You sure she was? If you were living there and the landlord said, in order for you to stay there, we're taking the Section 8 off the rent and we're going to charge the regular rent, which is $650, and you wrote out checks for $650 to cover the apartment while she was living there, why should she pay for her living in the apartment?
She asked her to take care of her daughter, because the daughter was on the Section 8 lease, and but the problem is I didn't know she was going to be gone for 2 or 3 years. She didn't know how long she was going to be. I could see trying to help with the situation for a limited amount of time, but it was just too long.
Ms. Costin, the funds that come into this bank,
Your Honor, I have
is a government check.
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
My son receives benefit from his deceased father.
Just a second. So this money was for your son?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was taking care of your son?
At that time, my son was between various group homes. A couple of times, Miss Watson did pick him up and take him.
How long has the child been with you?
For over 2 years.
Well, these checks are all written around that time. So, Ms. Costin.
Yes, ma'am.
You say that this government check is for your son?
Yes, ma'am.
For your son that she was taking care of?
Yes.
She could take this money. What am I going to give it to you? Why might I give it to you? This money is not yours. This money belongs to your son. If, in fact, you had money in your bank that was yours, that you worked for and saved, and had in a checking account or in a savings account that was yours, and she wrote checks out to herself for $600 and was using that, you know, to support somebody else that you had absolutely no nexus to, I would say you have to give this money back, Miss Watson. But this is a government check for your son that you say you got because he had a father who died,
yes.
Right? That child was in her custody. So, and I assume she supported him.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
And I asked her repeatedly, over and over again, Anita, I'm ready to, get my property. I have a place. She then put her live-in boyfriend, Demetrius, on the phone, who stated, Anita says that you're intimidating her. How am I intimidating her?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. When Evelyn Costin went to jail, she left her belongings with her niece's aunt, Anita Watson. Evelyn now claims Anita stole her stuff. Anita says she cared for Evelyn's kids while she was behind bars, but didn't steal anything.
What kind of work did you do?
I was a certified nurse's aide and also worked through a nursing registry.
What were you incarcerated for?
Petty theft, Your Honor.
Petty theft, you don't get anything more than a year in jail, madam. You were in jail for more than a year. More than a year is a felony. What were you convicted of?
With the prior, Your Honor.
Prior for what?
Petty theft.
Petty theft from where?
From a department store, Your Honor. Basically, it was making a refund exchanges against my own credit cards.
So you amassed a lot of money. I'm just wondering how you got all this money.
Your Honor,
from
those...
from a money market fund. Substantial interest every month from a fund. Just curious.
Your Honor, and any money that is in that account did not come from any illegal use. My son inherited some money from his father, and I put it into an investment account for him to go to college.
Mm-hmm. How much money is left in this account?
It's well over $10,000.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I have, if I can show you, I have a copy of her criminal record. As to most of this property, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because I don't.
Where did all of her property go to?
I don't know. It was so long. I don't know where it went to. Her daughter. I turned the property over to her daughter, which I know her daughter is not that responsible, but I could not deal with. I couldn't care for her property for over 2 years.
Well, let me understand this. You were living there for a while. Ultimately, the landlord told you to move. Is that right?
Yes.
When you moved out of the apartment, what happened to all of her furniture in the apartment?
I had left for a while, and then I came back. All the things were in the garage. So I guess he must have...
what things were in the garage?
All the things from the house. Then I left them.
Your Honor, the witness, she was actually there at the property, but she told me that she saw the daughter taking things out.
When was the last time you saw your daughter?
Your Honor, my daughter just moved from my place last week. I have asked my daughter several times, over and over again, did she even ever go to the apartment? She told me no. This lady never gave her anything from my apartment. I have made contact with this woman. I've talked to her. She repeatedly told me it was okay. Don't worry about it. First of all, first you need to worry about getting a place. After about 2 or 3 weeks after I was released from custody, I have my place. I then contact her again, and I asked her repeatedly, over and over again, Anita, could you please? I'm ready to, get my property. I have a place.
Well, didn't you ask her?
She then got off the phone and put her live-in boyfriend, Demetrius, on the phone, who stated, Anita, what is the problem? Anita says that you're intimidating her. How am I intimidating her? Because I'm asking for my property? I was even settling. Just give me my photograph. Things that belong to my mother. That is all I want back.
Okay, Ms. Costin, I need proof that she has your property. You were incarcerated for over 2 years, right? She is under no obligation to maintain your property.
She came into a verbal agreement, Your Honor, over and over again.
Ms. Costin, pay careful attention. She is under no obligation to babysit for your property. I think she probably did a very stupid thing by having this lady move into your apartment, because I'm not sure what this lady did with any of your stuff. I mean, I wouldn't have a stranger in my apartment, but the truth is, your alternatives were limited when you were incarcerated.
Yes, they were.
Where are you living now?
I'm living in Los Angeles, Your Honor. I have pictures and itemized list of things that were in my apartment.
I can't do anything about it. You were in jail, madam. Nobody has to take care of your things. There are a lot of people in and out of the apartment. Courts need proof. You're claiming that she stole things from your apartment. I have no proof that she stole anything from your apartment. That's what your claim is for, that she stole things. You gave her the ability to go get stuff out of a pawn shop, jewelry, etc., right? She says she gave it to your daughter. She says she doesn't have it. And she says to me that you told her to give the things to your daughter.
Your Honor, I never told her once to give anything to my daughter. I never told her once.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your Honor, she gave up custody. She gave her son to the courts. I mean, she said she didn't want him anymore.
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Evelyn Costin claims Anita Watson stole her property when Evelyn went to jail.
Ms. Costin, I don't know what advice I can give you at this point. I assume that you're on your own, you're living in Los Angeles. I assume that you still have some funds in this bank. You have $10,000 in this account, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
That is for my son.
Good. And, well, that's his money. It was left to him, you said.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I assume that you are getting the checks paid directly to you from Social Security for the child now, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So the child, how much does he get every month?
$638.
$638. That was the deposits that were made here in your account, $638 government check. Do you visit with the child that's in her custody?
She uses my son against me. She hasn't let me see my son. I've seen my son one time since I've been home, and that was only because I had to call the social worker because Miss Watson had had him out of school for well over a month, and I found that out through calling the school and getting his attendance.
Ms. Costin, you know about going to the family court. Your children were both placed in protective custody. Your 7-year-old child is still in protective custody and has been probably living with a foster family, I hope just one, for the last 3 years, right?
Yes.
Do you visit with that child?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Did they give you an order of visitation with regard to your son who is in her custody?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that?
That I'm to see my son every Sunday between 3 and 4 o'clock at McDonald's, which I've even called Miss Watson on several times and asked why he was not there.
Do you go there every Sunday?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. And I sit there.
Your Honor, what happened was she called her son, told him she was going to be able to pick him up when she got out of jail. She didn't pick him up. He went crazy. Now he doesn't want to see her. I mean, he's still crazy.
How old is he?
I mean, it hurt him a lot.
How old is he?
He's just turned 15.
Oh, so he's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Well, then there really isn't much that I can do about that. And the only thing to do about that is when you go back to the family court, I assume that you do periodically. Is that right?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And do you have a lawyer there?
Yes.
I would suggest that you ask the lawyer to see if the lawyer can set up through the court some joint counseling, like once a month with your son.
Your Honor, there was also an order that we were to have counseling. She doesn't even allow me to see my son. He isn't even living with her. He's living with my oldest daughter's father.
He's not living with you?
Since she's been out, he's been with my brother. My brother, both of her children were affected by prenatal drugs, okay? They have serious problems. She has a way of setting them off. He's set off right now.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
Sounds to me like you should be more concerned with the kids than your property.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, she gave up custody. She gave her son to the courts. I mean, she said she didn't want him anymore.
You mean she agreed to terminate her parental rights?
Yes, she did.
Miss Watson is not telling the truth.
Did you voluntarily place him?
The only thing that I signed was to have him live with her, to keep my son from being moved around. I was thinking about what was better for him.
Because he was in foster care.
Yes, ma'am. That was the only thing I signed.
And he was moving around. He wasn't doing well.
Right. And he wanted to stay with her.
So you agreed to guardianship?
Right.
Permanent guardianship?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. You have a 7-year-old daughter. Ms. Costin, I have a sense that all of your kids have had a very troubled time.
None of my kids have been affected by post-pregnant, whatever she said.
Were any of your children born with drugs in their system?
No, ma'am.
Never?
Never.
Okay.
Not one.
Okay. So I suggest you put a period, not worry about your furniture, and try to move on with it. I don't know who has your furniture. I don't know if she knows who has your furniture. You need proof in a court, and you know that. And if you're really concerned about your children, and if your 15-year-old son is at least legally in her custody, I wouldn't be suing her. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I would like to have some peace in my life because she has caused total chaos.
She lied, she deceived, and that's okay because it's all in God's hand.
It doesn't pay to try to help someone, and that's a good lesson.
You didn't have a romantic relationship.
No.
What are you laughing about?
We were intimate. Wasn't romantic.
That sometimes is a problem.
And he took her money.
You're a preschool teacher? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. What kind of an example are you setting for children? Huh?
That was a year and a half ago. I was a lot immature then. Now.
Oh, you grew up a lot.
I have.
You'd never tell that by today's performance.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheinlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
Parties on McAdams versus Stewart. Step forward, please.
21-year-old nursing assistant Teresa McAdams claims former lover, 23-year-old preschool teacher Casey Stewart, gambled away a loan and half the rent.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 563 on the calendar in the matter of McAdams versus Stewart. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. McAdams, according to your complaint, the defendant, who was a short-term boyfriend of yours, is that right?
No.
He wasn't a boyfriend of yours?
No, he was just a friend.
You lived together for a while?
Yes, for 2 weeks.
Well, according to your complaint, he wanted to buy a car. You made a loan to him of $800. And during the short time that you lived together, he gambled away the rent money that you left.
Right.
So first, tell me why you would give him $800 if he wasn't a boyfriend of yours.
Because I thought he was my friend and because I trusted him that he would pay me back the money.
How long did you know him?
For about 8 or 9 months.
But you didn't have a romantic relationship?
No.
And you have, Mr. Stewart, an interesting defense. What are you laughing about?
We were intimate.
Well,
wasn't romantic.
That sometimes is a problem. You indicate that while she did give you the $800, we'll get to the rent money in a minute. Did you, in fact, gamble away the $225 in rent money that she left?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yes. Yes is good. You say that you don't owe her anything because when you defended her honor with her former boyfriend, he retaliated and damaged some of your property.
Yep.
And she should have paid for that so that you should be even. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Well, so now we have agreed that she gave you the $800 for the car, right?
Right.
And you did gamble away the $225 of her rent money.
Right.
So convince me that you don't owe her any money.
Well, I don't feel I owe her any money because we were at a party and I stuck up for her honor. She got hit. She told me she got hit. She was crying, holding her head. Well, I went to go talk to the other male, and that ended up in a fight. I beat him up, and then he came back that night, broke all the windows in the apartment where the party was, and broke the girl that was having the party, broke her car windows. And then about a week later, all the cars in my house were all busted, all the windows.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that has to do with something for defending for Teresa.
When was this? When you were living together or before you were living together?
Before, we weren't even dating then.
How long ago?
Oh, about a year and a half ago.
Had you discussed with her paying you back some of the damage to your car or your family's car windows?
Well, I thought it would just be common knowledge to help pay for
something. Had you discussed it with her?
No.
Well, you didn't help me pay for the windows in the car that got broken with my friend.
Miss McAdams.
You didn't help either.
I paid for her windows.
Miss McAdams.
Where do you think she got
in the house.
One.
You paid for the house.
Two. God When you asked her for the money for this car, tell me what you said to her.
We were out looking at a car, and she goes, you want the money? I said, okay.
Is that how it happened?
No.
Let me hear.
He said that he was unable to get a loan because he had bad credit. So I told him that I would loan him the money if he would pay me back. And he agreed to pay me back.
How did he agree to pay you back? On a schedule?
He said that he would pay me back out of every paycheck until the loan was paid off.
No.
So you took the money out of a bank of yours?
Right, and I have the loan contract.
Can I see it? Was he with you when you took this money out of the bank?
Yes.
Were you with her?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a nursing assistant.
And what kind of work do you do?
I'm a preschool teacher.
Okay. According to her complaint, she left in cash $225, which was her share of the rent. Where did you leave it?
On the coffee table.
And he was supposed to put in his half and pay the landlord?
Yes.
And you didn't do that?
No.
Well, what'd you do with her money? What part of that didn't you understand? What did you do with her money?
I took it.
What did you do with it?
I spent it.
On what?
I don't remember.
Who paid the rent?
We didn't pay the rent.
My parents paid the rent.
Mr. Stewart, you're a preschool teacher? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. What kind of an example are you setting for children? Huh?
That was a year and a half ago. I was a lot immature then. Now.
Oh, you grew up a lot.
I have.
You'd never tell that by today's performance.
Well, I'm sorry.
Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,025. Thank you, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, that'll be the last time I ever stick up for a woman who's ever been hit again, if I'm not going to get any kind of appreciation.
I think justice was served, and I got what I deserved.
And now the next case.
All parties on Beck versus Perella. Step forward, please.
43-year-old marketing rep Allison Beck is suing her neighbor, 34-year-old dentist Dennis Perella, for shooting her dog. Dennis claims the dog was killing his animals.
Miss Beck, you're the owner of a dog. What kind of a dog is it?
He's a blue heeler.
A blue heeler. What is that? Do you have a picture?
Yes, I have a picture here.
Can I see it, please?
This is right after his surgery, and then I also have a videotape of him of this last weekend.
So, a blue heeler looks a lot like a German Shepherd.
Well, he's a much smaller dog. He's only 19 inches tall in the shoulders.
According to your complaint, the defendant shot your dog while your dog was on his property. What kind of an area do you live in?
I live on 40 acres. It's very rural, and I live down in a valley, kind of below his house. So the road's way up on the top of the hill near his house.
And how large a property do you have, sir?
24 acres.
You admit that you shot the dog?
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He came down the road with a deer leg, a piece of a leg, which I reprimanded him, and he knows he's not supposed to ever, do something like that.
So you told him not to do that again, and you assumed that he wouldn't. Miss Beck.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Allison Beck says her neighbor Dennis Perella shot her pet dog. The dog lived, but Dennis is countersuing for the animals the dog killed.
Tell me why you shot the dog.
It was on my property. No collar was on the dog. It had just killed a fawn in my pasture, and I shot it.
How do you know that?
I saw it, and it was consuming the fawn deer when I shot it.
Did you see him bring down the fawn?
I saw it right after it happened.
So the answer is you did
No,
not see him bring down the fawn.
I did not see him bring down the fawn.
You saw him at the fawn's carcass.
Consuming. And that was after repeated times the dog had come on the property, as well as aggressively coming towards the kids at a birthday party, and birds being killed, rabbits being harmed.
Did you ever see this dog do any damage to any livestock on your property?
Personally, myself, no, but my wife did.
Did you personally see the dog in the vicinity of your children?
Yes.
When?
At my daughter's birthday party. myself, my wife's father. We saw the dog. It came up. It was aggressive with the kids.
How aggressive?
Coming at them and growling on our property without a collar.
Did your dog have a collar?
No, he did not.
Why not?
When I take him on walks on my property, a lot of times he'll run through the underbrush, and he kept ripping collars off and losing them all the time. And since when he's outdoors, he's only with me. I normally watch him all the time. So
Well, Ms. Beck, you clearly weren't watching him this time. And clearly, based upon what the defendant tells me, the dog was on the property previously, at least at a birthday party. Would you step up, please? Yes. You are Mrs. Parola?
Yes.
Mrs. Parola, can you tell me about the children's birthday party?
Before the party, when I was preparing, getting ready, the dog was in our front pasture. I chased the dog off with a stick because I'd seen it before. I didn't want any problems that day. Later on, my father was doing little things with the kids, and the dog came towards them. And the kids yelled at him. My dad shooed him off.
And you're certain that it was the plaintiff's dog?
Oh, yes. I didn't know it was her dog at the time, of course, because it didn't have tags, IDs.
When did you discover it was the plaintiff's dog?
About 5 days later, when her ex-husband went off-road up to my fence line, screaming at me, "I'm going to get you, you're going to pay for
Was
this."
this after the dog was shot?
Yes, and that is the first time I realized it was her dog. Of course, had it been licensed and not at large hunting, we would never have shot her dog.
Your husband indicated that you actually saw yourself,
yes,
the dog attacking other animals on your property.
I caught it in our pheasant's cage.
When?
It was all in a period of this week, so the 13th through the 17th.
Tell me about catching the dog in the pheasant's cage.
Well, I heard, some rustling that's right outside our kitchen to the left.
How many pheasants do you have?
About nine or 10 in this cage, and then I have a peacock and a guinea fowl next to it.
We have pictures if you want to see them.
Yeah, and I also have pictures.
I'd like to see them, please.
I'd like to show. This is the before, when the rabbit was at the fair, and then the injured pictures are thereafter. And I approached it in the cage, of course. I was mad running at it. I opened up the door. It had a pheasant in its mouth. He growled at me, and he was furiously digging to get back out.
Ms. Beck, from what I hear from the defendants, your dog is unleashed and roaming around more than just the once when it was shot by the defendant. That's not a very good idea. Don't you think you bear some responsibility for the animal having gotten into some trouble?
Well, yes, I didn't have any idea that any of this was occurring. And when I went up, I was very surprised when I first came up to Dr. Perrell and asked him why he shot my dog. And he started telling me all these incidents. And I was very surprised because it didn't sound anything like my dog or the demeanor of my dog, because he had been around people and kids.
How long have you had this dog?
I've had him 3 years.
How old is the dog?
He's 4.5, about 4.5.
Has this dog ever brought you back, what do they call it? Not
trophies.
Gifts.
Body parts.
Body parts.
He has at times, in fact, a little bit before the incidents, he came down the road with a deer leg, a piece of a leg, which I reprimanded him. And he knows he's not supposed to ever, do something like that. I mean, it is kind of a dog thing if there's a carcass around to be attracted to it. So that's.
So you told him not to do that again, and you assumed that he would. Miss Beck.
But I know I try to keep a watch on him all the time, and I'm out. He's only outdoors when I'm outdoors. When I went up and talked to Dr. Perella's wife about the incidents, because I was very concerned. So I asked her when the incidences occur, and she told me about the birthday party. And I remember hearing the kids out and stuff like that, so I remember that day. And then I said, there were 2 incidents. And I said, well, when was the other incidents? And she said it was on a Wednesday. And I said, it was the same dog that you saw each time? And she said, yes. And she said, do you have a Rottweiler? And I said, no, I don't. And I showed her a picture of my dog, and she didn't recognize the dog. And I said, it cannot be my dog because my dog is locked in the house during the day. When I'm at work, my dog is only out when I'm out. So.
Ms. Parola, you know what a Rottweiler looks like?
Yes, I did not say that. She showed me a picture of her dog. I said, yeah, that's the dog.
How is your dog?
My dog is just now starting to walk on all 4 legs. Sometimes he's on 3, but mostly now he's doing pretty well.
Well, you've had medical expenses in the amount of about $2,000, and Dr. and Mrs. Parola have a cross complaint for some of the animals that were destroyed. How many animals were destroyed?
5 pheasants, 3 rabbits, a guinea pig, and a mother cat of 4-H kittens.
Okay, well, I've heard the incident about the pheasants. I haven't heard anything about any other animals that anybody saw this dog attack. Did you see the dog attack any other animals?
No, I just saw the aftermath.
And on the day that you saw him with this one pheasant in his mouth, how many pheasants were killed on that day?
On
Just
that
one?
day, I would know. The 3 guinea fowl had already been taken out. And
that day?
Yes.
So when you came out to the yard, there was sort of at the end of what was going on?
Yes. Right.
Okay, so there were 3 guinea fowl.
Yes.
What else?
And how many pheasants? Probably 2.
Yeah.
Did you ever call animal control about this dog?
I called because I wanted to find out what we could do. I thought it was a wild dog. And they said, if you catch him, there's an ORS here.
Let me see.
If you catch him consuming livestock, kill him. I mean, this was before we did it. I would have never told him, you know, go shoot a dog. But this wild, un-ID'd dog, of course, is taking out all my livestock.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I shot in the direction, not even attempting to kill the dog, just to scare the dog away. And I shot it, it yelped, and went back under the fence, and that was it.
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Allison Beck claims her neighbor, Dennis Perella, shot her dog.
Miss Beck, this says, Guide to Dog Regulations. 3 things. Love them, license them, and leash them. I'm sure you loved him. You didn't license him and you didn't leash him.
He is licensed. I mean, he carries a license. It's legal.
So I assume that when you got the license, you got this brochure.
Could have been, yeah. I don't remember that, but yeah.
This says, any dog, whether licensed or not, which while off the premises, owned or under control of its owner, so clearly your dog was off the premises when he saw it eating the carcass of a fawn.
Deer.
And this was not the first time, because clearly, according to you, he had brought back the leg of another deer at another time, or injures any livestock, is a public nuisance and may be killed immediately by any person. That's what it says. Well, he didn't kill the dog. What happened, Dr. Parola, when you realized that the dog was not dead but merely injured? I'd like to know.
I shot in the direction, not even attempting to kill the dog, just to scare the dog away. And I shot it, it yelped, and went back under the fence, and that was it. So, I mean, I didn't...
So it went home?
Yes.
So you found the dog?
I couldn't find him at all. He was out all night in the rain and injured. It took him till 2 o'clock the next day to drag himself down to my house.
But you actually found him?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Beck, Dr. Parola is not liable for the medical or for the veterinary bills of your dog, not according to the clearly stated regulations of the county where you live. You, on the other hand, bear a certain amount of responsibility because your dog was not licensed, at least not visibly licensed. The dog was certainly not leashed. The dog was on their property. And according to their testimony, which I find really believable, that your dog has been on their property on numerous occasions. You've got to pay the dog's medical bills. Now, as far as the replacement for your fowl, you've placed responsibility with her dog for the death of a lot of animals, and you have no proof of that. Right. You have proof of 2 pheasants and 3 guinea fowl. So, tell me what that was.
Probably about, it's $250.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
Okay. I don't attribute any malevolence on their part. I think that you had a dog and you didn't take proper precaution for the dog. The dog's supposed to be on your property. Yeah, keep it close to home.
Yeah,
all right.
He's not of size to kill a deer. He's not of size to do that.
A fawn.
He cannot do that. I mean, my dog would be attracted to a carcass there, so I mean, it baited him to come into the yard at that point in time. So, and my dog. I have some letters from neighbors and previous owners that he had been around a lot of livestock, and the previous owners of that farm that had livestock there and they had lived there 2 years, and they'd
Love
never
them,
been.
license them, leash them. Your complaint for the medical bills for this dog is dismissed, and on your counterclaim, I'm awarding you $250 for the price of the animals that were killed by the plaintiff's dog. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Pet owners have a responsibility, and if you're negligent, your animals pay the price for your negligence.
Well, my dog still has psychological impact from hearing gunshots. I mean, he actually cowers now because he doesn't know where it's coming from at all, so he's in fear.
ਦਿਲ ਦਿਆ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਜਾਨੀਆਂ ਹੁਣ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਨੀ ਸੌਂਦਿਆ ਦਿਲ ਦਿਆ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਜਾਨੀਆਂ ਹੁਣ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਨੀ ਸੌਂਦਿਆ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਵਕਤ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਹੁਣ ਲੁਕ ਲੁਕ ਰੋਂਦਿਆ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਵਕਤ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਹੁਣ ਲੁਕ ਲੁਕ ਰੋਂਦਿਆ ਦਿਲ ਦਿਆ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਜਾਨੀਆਂ ਤਨ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਦਿਲ ਦਿਆ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਜਾਨੀਆਂ ਤਨ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਕਣਾ ਦੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਜਿਗਰ ਦਾ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਦਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਕਣਾ ਦੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਜਿਗਰ ਦਾ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਦਿਲ ਦਿਆ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਜਾਨੀਆਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਗਾਵੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਦਿਲ ਦਿਆ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਜਾਨੀਆਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਗਾਵੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਪੁੱਛ ਦਿਲ ਜ਼ਖਮੀ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੁਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਪੁੱਛ ਦਿਲ ਜ਼ਖਮੀ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੁਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਦਿਲ ਦਿਆ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਜਾਨੀਆਂ ਛੋੜਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਹਿ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀ ਦਿਲ ਦਿਆ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਜਾਨੀਆਂ ਛੋੜਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਹਿ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਕਦੇ ਰਹਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਕਦੇ ਰਹਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀ ਦਿਲ ਦਿਆ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਜਾਨੀਆਂ दिया सोने जानिया एवे छोड़ दे पैगे नी हो तेरे नाल जीने दे अरमान ही रह गए नी तेरे नाल जीने दे अरमान ही रह गए नी दिल दिया सोने जानिया किस्सा ही मुका सटिया दिल दिया सोने जानिया किस्सा ही मुका सटिया वो चंगे भले वसदे सा तकदीर रुला सटिया चंगे भले वसदे सा तकदीर रुला सटिया दिल दिया सोने जानिया किस्मत दे खेल होंदे दिल दिया सोने जानिया किस्मत दे खेल होंदे जिन्ना सच्चा प्यार होंदा नहीं दुनिया ते मेल होंदे जिन्ना सच्चा प्यार होंदा नहीं दुनिया ते मेल होंदे दिल दिया सोने जानिया कुछ गल्लू मजबूर होंदे दिल दिया सोने जानिया कुछ गल्लू मजबूर होंदे सुखी नहीं जावेद वेखे जड़े सज्जना तू दूर होंदे सुखी नहीं जावेद वेखे जड़े सज्जना तू दूर होंदे चुल्ली जंग बजर दे वेले ते माईओ मेरी नू कहना चुल्ली जंग बजर दे वेले ओ माईओ मेरी नू कहना इंशाअल्लाह फिर मिलांगे सदा में विछोड़ा नहीं हो रहना इंशाअल्लाह फिर मिलांगे सदा में विछोड़ा नहीं रहना रूप गुलाबां ते सदा नावे बाग बहारा सदा नाए रूप गुलाबां ते सदा नावे बाग बहारा सदा नाओ भज भज फेरे वे कर सण तोते पोर हजारा सदा नावे भज भज फेरे वे कर सण तोते वे पोर हजारा जवानी ते मान के आ दिलदारा चार दिहाड़े उसन जवानी ते मान के आ दिलदारा सिख दे असियों मुहम्मद बख्शा क्यों परवानी यारा सिखदे असियों मुहम्मद बख्शा क्यों परवानियों यारा की कोई चीज नहीं जगत में सारी दुनिया फरोली मावर की कोई चीज नहीं जगत में सारी दुनिया फरोली जेड़ी ठंड कले जनु पावे ओ मां दिवे मिठड़ी बोली जेड़ी ठंड कले जनु पावे ओ मां दिवे मिठड़ी ओ बोली अपना त्यो कूड़ पर आया ओ वेले सब दस जांदे कूड़ तेरा ते कूड़ पर आया वेले ओ सब दस जांदे मोहब्बतां वाले ते नाल ही ले गए ओ आसे तुर के यार मोहब्बतां वाले ते नाल ही ले गए ओ आसे दिल नहीं लगदा वे यार मुहम्मद जाए केड़े ओ पासे दिल नहीं लगदा ओ यार मुहम्मद जाए वो केड़े पासे शिकारी करे ओ त्यारी ते बार चरेंदे आयरना मगर शिकारी करे ओ त्यारी ते बार चरेंदे आयरना जो चढ़िया उस टैना वे ओढ़क जो जमिया उस मरना जो चढ़िया उस टैना वे ओढ़क जो जमे आयुष मरना सजण नू खांदे ते पुन पुन जिगर नवाले कर कर याद सजन नु खांदे ते पुन पुन जिगर नवाले शरबत वांग प्यारे वे अथूं पीवण जहर प्याले शरबत वांग प्यारे वे अथूं पीवण जहर प्याले असाओ तुसां कद रल मिल पैना ते पैण हमेश जुदाई असां वे तुसां कद रल मिल पैना ते पैण हमेश जुदाई रोवण फुल मोहम्मद बख्शा रजना शाख अडाई रोवण फुल मोहम्मद बख्शा वे रजना शाख अंडाई ए दुख दा तूफान होया देश दी खातिर वे शहीद अमजद पठान होया देश दी खातिर वे देश दी खातिर वे शहीद अमजद पठान होया शक्ल ते बाल तेरे दिलों विचों नहीं जांदे हुणे अमजद ख्याल तेरे दिलों विचों नहीं जांदे दिलों विचों नहीं जांदे हुणे अमजद ख्याल तेरे चन दे तारा सी अल्लाह हुण सबर देवे मां बाप नू वे प्यारा सी अल्लाह हुण सबर देवे अल्लाह हुण सबर देवे मां बाप नू वे प्यारा सी जाए नी दुआवानो अल्लाह हुण सबर देवी सारे भैण भरावानो अल्लाह हुण सबर देवी अल्लाह हुण सबर देवी सारे भैण भरावानो करके अदा गया अपने वतन खातर बाजी जान दिला गया अपने वतन खातर अपने वतन खातर बाजी जान दिला गया नवे तोड़ गया जैसी जवान अमजद मुँह जल्दी क्यों मोड़ गया जैसी जवान अमजद जैसी जवान अमजद जल्दी क्यों मोड़ गया। दुख वीरां दे वे होंदे नी पठाणा तीर दे विच अज पत्थर वीरां दे नी। पठाणा तीर दे विच जम्मू कश्मीर दे अज पत्थर वीरां दे नी। भूल दुआ करिया अमजद पठान नुए अल्लाह जन्नत अता करिया। अमजद पठान नुए अमजद पठान नुए अल्लाह जन्नत अता करिया। निसी जान जोगी इतनी जान नहीं सी तेरे सदमे वे सैन जोगी। इतनी जान नहीं सी इतनी ओ जान नहीं सी तेरे सदमे वे सैन जोगी। दुख न करीबो